What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to SpawnCast episode 52, right, Evan?
Oh, yeah.
52. Awesome. I'm joined with actually quite a few people, and one person who actually messaged me about an hour ago trying to jump in. So awesome. That's actually Liam Robertson, as you just saw pop up there. He's the icon that'll pop up occasionally. How you doing tonight, Liam?
Hey, I'm okay. It's kind of late here. It's about 2 a.m., so I don't know how coherent I'll be. And I might even fall asleep at some point, but we'll see. I'm doing okay for now, though.
Good. We'll see how it goes.
I have a quick question for Liam, just real quick. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, okay.
Liam, where's Spyro? Give me my Spyro.
I knew he was going to ask me that.
Give me my Spyro, damn it. Where's my Spyro?
Dude, that is like I
every
see
day.
people ask you that all the time.
I'm just messing with you. Don't kill me.
I know. Don't worry.
Dude, that's going to be like Christmas when that thing finally gets announced for you. Like then people will stop asking you.
Yeah, I know. I just want to.
If it's real.
Yeah, right.
I just want to strangle some of Liam's people that come up.
You probably had the best tweet so far. I assume for April Fool's Day. That was like what, an hour ago that you put that out, where you said you've been Marcus Sellers the whole time.
What?
That blew my mind.
April Fool's Day? What do you mean?
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, this is the Sixth Sense movie I'm gonna tell my kids about. That's great. What you do? You have a YouTube channel too, though, and you do like beta stuff, or you even talked about how Capcom like cheaped out on Marvel vs. Capcom stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I do mostly, like, as you say, behind the scenes stuff about games, coming out. Yeah, as I said earlier, it's kind of difficult for me to think like clearly right now, but I'll try my best to describe what I do. I basically write about kind of behind the scenes stuff in video games, especially games that were cancelled. Like I've covered Scalebound before. Some people might remember that because that's kind of recent, but mostly it's like historical stuff, like Nintendo's Project Hammer and stuff like that. So
my favorite.
If you're
interested, that's my
thanks.
favorite. I love that episode.
If you check it out, I'm Liam Moore Productions on YouTube, or just Google like Unseen64 or Liam Robertson or whatever.
We can drop a link to your channel.
I've dropped it in the
chat
place. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Cool.
Hey, go check him out. It's got some good stuff on there. I like that episode of Capcom where you talked about the budget and everything too. That was interesting to hear about how cheap they went on that.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
The results speak for how much it cost. They do very well.
You probably also had one of the most mind-blowing, I guess, trolls that I've ever seen, where the entire time, I didn't really realize it. I think OJ probably realized it, but your icon was Mario from the promotional poster for Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Yeah, it's all about the long cons. Yeah. I was surprised nobody ever called me out. Nobody ever noticed that, because from what I can remember, that art was really well circulated. People weren't talking about it openly, but I know quite a few people had seen that poster before it got leaked. Like I'm sure some of you might have seen it before.
I saw it, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to
Well, I saw that. I did not connect the dot. It was just one of those things of Superman Clark Kent type of thing. And then once you were like, "It's this," it was like, "Oh my god, dot's connected."
And we have, of course, OJ, PlayerEssence. OJ, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Thanks for having me back on, man.
Yep, absolutely, gotcha. And then Max, DreamcastGuy. How are things tonight? Good.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, sorry, playing good games and bad games, and having a lot of fun.
Very good. And then we have RaxTheGreat joining us again, second time. So last time you were on, you were trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and now you're at like almost 1,600 subscribers. So you got there, man. Just ahead of the cutoff, right?
Yeah.
Good. So we got everybody. Oh, and then Evan's here, of course. You know Evan.
Yep.
Everyone knows Evan. All right, good. So what's everyone been playing this week? Anything good?
I decided to do a full master file on Evil Within 2 randomly. I don't know why. So I've put about 35 hours this week into Evil Within 2. I literally beat the game 3 times this week on every difficult, beat it on easy, medium, and hard. That way I could get all the trophies. I don't know why, but man, I love that game.
Evan, can you also on your screen, can you log into the Streamlabs just to for any messages people send in for when we read it? We're gonna read messages at like 10:30 p.m. my time, so an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes from now. So any super chats or those things we'll read then, just keep the conversation on track. Then we'll have like a little Q&A before we wrap up. But what about anyone else other than Max? Anything good this week, guys? You been playing?
I got this. I got Ni no Kuni too.
Oh, yeah, I got the collector's edition for that.
Yeah, I've been watching one of my Twitch buddies play. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's real fun. Also, that was a review copy from Bad Night Namco.
See, they keep sending you the stuff, man. They never send me anything.
I'm telling you, dress up as Naruto and throw some fake Rasengans, and they will send you everything.
He's already said the name wrong. It's over. You can't do it.
Next email I send to them is just going to be that. I'm going to be like, look, believe it. I need a copy.
I said Naruto like an American would, so I'm already in. Like
no, just correct your. Trust me, I used to say it like that too. But you just correct yourself, dress up, and they like the dress up. They like the dress up-y stuff. So, yeah, now they send me everything. No, I don't know if that's the reason, guys. I don't know if that's the reason, but I've been playing it and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I haven't gotten too much into it, but the combat's really fluid. It's really smooth. Level 5 is amazing. They've made some of the best RPGs ever. I mean, they did Dragon Quest back in the day. They did Rogue Galaxy. They did the first Ni no Kuni. Yeah. They did Dark Cloud. You know, they've done all sorts of cool stuff. They make Yokai Watch. I mean, Level 5 they're fantastic. They're a fantastic developer, especially for RPG games. So this one's really good. I like it.
I want to jump in. I want to jump in there eventually. I got to do Far Cry 5 first, though.
Yeah. I just got a free code for that today.
But everyone's just getting free codes around here.
I just got lucky.
This is the YouTube high life.
Yeah, apparently, man. Ubisoft said they didn't have enough for me. Man, that's cool.
I can try to squeeze one for you.
Nah, that's fine. I was kidding. How do you like it so far?
To be honest with you, I literally installed it like maybe 20 minutes before we got on here.
So it's going good. Very good.
Yeah, it's going great. It's on the loading screen.
Are you gonna be streaming that?
I probably will stream that. Last night I was like streaming some Fortnite and it was terrible, so I'm gonna move on.
That's a native 4K on the Xbox One X.
Really? I got it on PC.
Oh yeah, that's probably fine there too. Yeah, very good, very good. What about you, Evan? Anything good?
Not really. Just still playing. Occasionally Sea of Thieves with my buddies that I play with.
I thought everybody moved on from that game.
For me, it's PvP. That's all it is.
Okay. Okay, very good. What about you, Liam? Anything good?
I played a bit of Axiom Verge on the Switch. I know I'm very late to the party on that one, but it's pretty good, pretty competently made, pretty well designed Metroidvania. People have been telling me to play that for years, and just for some reason I didn't. But perfect for the Switch. Really nice game. Yeah.
If you like Metroidvania, it's awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
game.
definitely.
I've been playing. I played Wipeout. VR, HD VR, awesome version of it, by the way. If you've not liked any of VR and you already have a PlayStation VR headset, go buy it right now. It is outstanding. It's just really well done. It kind of makes your stomach jump. Like I can see some people are really motion sick, could probably start throwing up after like 2 races. It's like that, but it's really cool because like you like look down and like the cockpit that you have and everything, and it's like you're doing like pod racing from Star Wars, and it's really cool. So that's what I've been playing on there. And then I've also been playing a couple of games on the Switch that aren't out yet. You may have played these too, OJ. Penny Punching Princess.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's out next week. And then what's the Trials Playgrounds?
Yeah, Urban Trial Playground or something.
Playing that too.
Yeah, I did a preview on that.
Yeah, there's no embargo on either of those, I don't think. So I can play either of them.
No embargo on either one.
Did you play any of Penny Punching Princess yet?
I got a little bit of it in, not much.
It's a cool idea. I kind of like so far what they're doing. That game's I think like $40 though, isn't it?
Yeah, the physical edition I think is
kind of pricey. Yeah, but it's I mean it's a cool idea and game and everything. You actually bribe the people that you beat up and they join you, and depending on who you bribe, you can build up like armor and like parts of your kingdom and stuff. It's kind of cool. But you basically put a button and a calculator comes down and you throw money at the enemies, and then they join you, so you pay them off. But that, and then I started replaying Final Fantasy 15 on the Xbox One X because I have not played the DLC and I want to try it. So mostly because Max says it's really good.
Yeah, the DLC is fantastic. It's all really good. I put a lot of hours in the DLC.
So I figure, you know what, I'll play back through it. So that's about it though. After that, so let me jump into some of these topics, guys. And the biggest one, I guess, that everyone talked about, I think most people believe the image is fake, but you guys, I assume, have all seen the Pokemon image that seriously started making the rounds maybe 4 or 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
By Pixelpar.
What's odd is I'm sure maybe you guys heard about this too. I've heard about this image, this specific image. I've heard people murmur about. So I'm not sure if this is the image that's been getting circulated for like a month and a half or 2 months, or if somebody doctored an image to fit the rumors that were going around. But it's definitely weird. Whatever it is, it's super blurry. It's weird.
All right, so I'll say this. Like, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Sun before I hit bed lately, and honestly, it is legitimately, and like I can say this for a fact, that it is a screenshot from the 3DS games. It is either Sun or Moon, and someone is literally only what they've done is taken the seat from the back of Lapras and just like edited out with Photoshop or something. Because honestly, it is like I could open my 3DS right now and like honestly, the only thing that you do is you ride Lapras through the water, and I just got done doing this to get my water Z crystal or whatever. So that's exactly what it is. It is literally a 3DS still shot.
So I haven't played Sun or Moon. I'm way out of the Pokemon loop.
Yeah.
Does that exact geography exist in that game as well? Do you actually recognize that area?
I recognize that area.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That totally kills it for me. Then I don't believe.
There's the image there. If they
I was literally because like the tail that you see at the bottom there in this area, you're trying to like. One of the guys is like, oh, you got to find a red Magikarp or a gold Magikarp, something like that. I literally just got done with this, so don't quote me on the color of the Magikarp. But you literally get your Lapras to ride around in the water, and all they've done is, if you look closely, the character is just a little far up on the Lapras, and basically right behind him should be like a brown seat. All they did was it looks like you can kind of see where like the gray they kind of drew it in.
Yeah,
like
where it starts being a solid color instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Liam, do you have any comment on this?
It just looks like a bunch of shit, to be honest.
That's what I said. That's what I said to the Dreamcast dude on Twitter.
Yeah, because I was like, if this is real, and OJ was like, it's not. Trust me, it's not.
So here's what's going to happen. Now everyone's going to take that statement from Liam and try to like decode it. So
yeah,
somehow it all equates back to Spyro, though. That's it's going to all equate back to that.
Bunch of shit, kind of like Spyro World 4. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, stop presenting. There we go. And then stop that. There we go. Okay, we're back. Yeah, so I don't think anyone at this point really. I guess some people do. It almost looks like somebody opened up Citra, blurred it and then put it in high def or something and then just uploaded it.
Yep.
That's pretty much what it looks like. So the weird thing is PokeJungle for some reason seems to think it's possible that it's legit. I don't know.
Well, it's probably because I've heard people have talked specifically about this image. People have talked about a screenshot that was going around that nobody would have about somebody riding a Pokemon with a Pokemon like on their lap. And that looks like, if you zoom in, it does look like an Eevee on his head or is on his lap. It seems like somebody is purposely trying to Photoshop this to fit earlier rumors really badly. And maybe a Pokemon website is like, we need this. Give them the scoop.
And why is it so blurry? Like somebody like sprayed Vaseline all over the screen.
The riding suit.
Yeah.
Why is it so damn blurry? Like who took that?
Yeah, because the more you Photoshop an image, there's little textures that get left behind in the program called artifacting, and a way they try and cover artifacting is like making it much lower resolution and then blowing it up again. It looks exactly like that. It looks like they edited it. There was artifacting, and they went, just screw with the resolution.
So, I mean, what does everyone expect Pokemon to look like when it actually does get announced? Like, are you expecting that top-down look kind of like that? Or are you expecting something like Breath of the Wild? Or
I mean, I personally think that it's going to have something along the same lines as like Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, but just better graphics, honestly. Like, I feel like if they stray too far away from that top-down view, the hardcore Pokemon fans might get a little... I don't know. They might get a little upset, but at the same time, we've all been kind of wanting this open world. Like you see that test footage for like the Unreal Engine. Dude, all that stuff looks amazing. So, I mean, personally, I think that they'll probably still kind of go with that top-down-ish look, but I would really love for him to do what like that edited Unreal footage looks like. I really want to see something like that, to be honest with you, with like the Pokken tournament style graphics.
Yeah.
Well, on the topic of Pokken, that's my biggest. There's a leak that's been going around for months now that I fully believe, which is that they're totally trying to overhaul the combat system. That's what's most important to me now. As somebody I'm way off the Pokemon bandwagon. I'm not a Pokemon fan, really. I like the games back in the day, but I just haven't played them in a long time. I'm hoping they do something to change up the combat. That would really grab me more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just hope they take advantage of what the Switch can do rather than try to take an upscale 3DS game. That's the thing. I do think they've been working on Pokemon for a little while now. People seem to think they started working on it as soon as Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon stopped. I have a feeling they've been working on this Pokemon game for a while. So
Yeah, I agree.
We have to see. I mean, the problem is at this point, because we haven't heard much of anything, the expectation is so high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I don't know how they can actually match the hype level at this point.
True.
So that's kind of the concern.
I don't think it's going to be like as big as like Breath of the Wild or look as good as that. I think it's going to be somewhere, like Gale, like, I think it's going to look nice, but I don't think they're going to put that much into this first one. And I think maybe some sequels, like, or that's a secret, like the next like games in the series. Yeah. Like they can make it look better, like they did with, if you look at Pokemon X and Y, look at that, then look at Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, or whatever, and then look at Sun and Moon. They look a lot better. They got a lot better over the course of those 3 games. So I do think that it might be a progression as they get used to the hardware, because they're going to make multiple Pokemon games on the Switch. So that's what I'm thinking, at least.
Yeah, build the engine and then build off of that engine.
Because X and Y looks. I mean, it's so funny because obviously, like, we look at the Pokemon games, they don't look that great, right? But if you look at Sun and Moon, then look at X and Y, you're like, oh man, Sun and Moon looks a lot better. Like Sun and Moon looks a lot better than X and Y. So, but
what's interesting is all of those character models are already they already have HD models of them. We learned about that like forever ago. I feel like.
Yeah, when the Stars leaks were coming out, people were like, "Oh my gosh, you can actually dig into all these character model files!" Ah!
Yeah, and they found they were already like rendered in high def and everything, above what the 3DS can show. So it's very interesting to hear all that. But man, it's tough. It's tough. What to say? So I guess, do you guys think it's gonna be 2 versions, by the way, or do you think it's gonna be 1?
Yeah, I think it's 2. I don't think they're gonna miss. They're gonna miss on that. I don't think they're gonna miss out on that. So
if they do the 2, like that makes me think that even more they're gonna go with that top-down view. But just going off the rumors, they probably are gonna do 2.
Yeah, I mean it's money. It's easy money, right?
Absolutely.
So why not?
Really dramatic titles like Nuclear Fire.
Yeah, what are they gonna call it? What are they gonna call it? That's the thing. I saw Nuclear, but what are they? I don't even know what they're gonna call these things.
What is this like Pokemon obsession? Like the fandom's obsession with calling stuff like Nuclear. Like, do you think a Japanese company is going to call a game that?
Oh no!
That's why I laughed at the whole nuclear. I was like, no, it's probably not going to happen.
I literally was going for a random buzzword. I didn't think about horrible Hiroshima melt.
Well, there was a rumor.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I literally was pulled that on my butt. I wasn't even aiming for a rumor. That's funny.
That's great. I saw that though. That rumor. It was like Pokemon Nuclear. What was the other one? It was, I don't even know. I remember what the one across from it was, but they've done like, what have they done? Like colors. They've done like what different types of like elements.
Chromosomes.
I don't know what else they go with. I mean, they'll probably come up with something weird and it'll just work, right?
It's going to be something crazy like day and night.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Stars at least made sense because it was like between Sun and Moon. But if it's going to be 2 versions, they're going to have to just keep coming up with different colors or who knows. But we'll have to wait and see. Do we think it's coming? We'll know more about it at E3, I guess. Is that where we're thinking an announcement comes?
Yeah.
Or do you think we get it before?
Yeah, I think they're gonna pull out the stops at E3, man. Like they've been giving us some good stuff here and there, but I feel like they're saving like a lot for that wow factor at that time of the year, I think.
Yeah, I think they'll probably announce it in full before then. They might tease it, but I think we'll probably see like the first playable stuff at E3.
Makes sense. It's probably better, honestly, to tell us something beforehand and then show us like the big stuff when we get there. But I think if we saw some sort of screenshot or gameplay of some kind, or even just a video, I think it would help a little bit, because if they hit us with that Smash Brothers, and then maybe some small Metroid stuff. It's gonna be kind of almost overwhelming to a degree.
Yeah.
They did that in 2014 where they just kind of just threw everything, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's true. But I mean,
just
this is the first console Pokemon, though.
yeah, that's true. I just want to add just a little bit of the point. The whole rumor was Pokemon Chemical. That was the other.
That was,
Oh, was it?
Name of it.
I love those names. It was nuclear and chemical.
I
That's
don't like the nuclear one.
As cheesy as those are, I love that.
I didn't even think of that though with nuclear until Liam brought that up. Oh man, that's bad.
It's awesome.
That's bad. Man. So okay, so we're looking forward to it. I'd like to see a direct beforehand, but we'll see what happens. This is a good topic because I know Max was pretty outspoken about this, and you get picked on by their fan base now and then.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, No Man's Sky on the actually both of these fan bases you get picked on by No Man's Sky and the Xbox.
The Xbox community occasionally tries to kill me, and the No Man's Sky people keep claiming they're going to inject me into space. So yeah, this is a great combination of both those people.
people too. The PSVR people.
Oh yeah, and the PSVR people
tried to kill you. Or
they did try to call my house that one time and tell me to kill myself. But other than that, they're all great communities.
Dude, if No Man's Sky goes to the Xbox, and they announce a VR for the Xbox at the same time, you're in trouble.
Literally, the announcement trailer is going to end with people with pitchforks being like, "Don't even play a Dreamcast guy. Don't even tweet."
But it's going to the Xbox this summer. And Max, I have to ask you: are you going to give No Man's Sky a second chance?
100%. I'm giving a full, honest second chance. I actually bought it again at Black Friday. I got it for like $3, but I haven't even put the disc in. I put 40 hours into it when it first came out back in the day. Did not care for it then, but I'm willing to go back open-minded. I want to do a re-review of it. People have asked me to do re-reviews of games occasionally where I went really hard on it at launch. They did years of patches, and it's completely changed, and I've heard the added content is actually amazing. So I'm
that Thieves review is coming up in 2 years?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's going to be called The Ship with No Name.
Yeah, but No Man's Sky, I played it also. I actually played it on the PC when it came out, and I had the same thought you did. I was like, this is not what they said it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've heard it's been updated like a million times now. And then a big new update called Next is coming.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'll take a
already
look too.
it has now as of just right now, it has like apparently base building. There's actually multiplayer where you can see other players, although they're like little glowing orbs. There's like they're halfway up to their original set of lives. I mean, promises.
Yeah. So I mean, is anyone else looking at No Man's Sky for the Xbox, or did most people move on also? Because I think a lot of people just don't care about it anymore.
Yeah, I checked it out. I had GameFly back then, and I played it for a couple hours, and I was like, this is just not for me. But I mean, I could see that they said that there was going to be new, like, upgrades and improvements. So I was like, well, maybe one of these days it'll be for me, but it's not for me right now. So maybe I'll get it at some point, but not with all there's just not enough time for me to kind of give them another chance, to be honest. And yeah, so that's just my opinion on it. But I mean, it's cool that it's coming to Xbox One. I like the fact that they've added a bunch of stuff. I've been watching a ton of gameplay on the newest stuff just because when it got announced, I did a video on it talking about it. So I was watching some of the new gameplay, and it does look a lot better than what it was before.
They added like multiplayer stuff where you can like see other people kind of, but not really interact with them. It's weird. I don't know though, because when they first showed it, they were like, you and your friends can shoot across the galaxy and check everything out, but it was never really like that. So maybe that's what Next is. I don't know.
Yeah. If it's full-blown real co-op multiplayer, it's gonna get.
Evan, did you play No Man's Sky? I can't remember if you did or didn't. I feel like you didn't.
Nah, because that was back when we were at the store, and I remember we were talking about like all the stuff they kept announcing, all the stuff they kept saying, and I remember that was one of the first games where I was just like, let's see if they actually do it. So I didn't even pre-order to that point, and within a day of everyone going, nah, they didn't. I was like, yes, I won.
What about Liam? Did you play No Man's Sky or really care about it at all?
Nope, not really. I don't have a PS4, but I do have an Xbox One X. And
okay. What systems do you have? That's what we should actually ask you, just so we know.
Oh, well, I got, if we're talking current ones, just Switch and Xbox One X. I'll probably get a PS4 sometime over the next year or so. It depends, where the PS5 is at. Don't really know, but
that's interesting. You bought an Xbox before a PS4?
Yeah. Well, I it's a long story really, but I kind of I was given my first Xbox One as a kind of a gift, and I've just kind of stayed. I just became invested in that platform, and I upgraded to the X when that came out.
I always hear people that are like, I got my PS4 for my Xbox because of all the games on the PS4. That's interesting. That you went on the Xbox side. There's a lot of good games on the PS4. So
Yeah.
But I mean, I have the X also. I like the Xbox One X for like third-party stuff. It's obviously the better way to go.
Yeah.
But interesting. Okay, so yeah, because it's now coming to the Xbox. So you honestly, that's probably the best time to buy it, to be honest, because when it first came out, it was bare bones.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
How much is it going to cost? Well, we don't know how much it's going to cost too. So
I feel like it might be. You think it's gonna be a full price game, 60?
I mean, well, there's a lot of update. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest.
I have a feeling they're going to try at least 40.
Yeah, because it's a free update for the PS4, and honestly, you can buy the game for what, $10 now or something. If you,
I got my copy for $3 on Black. I mean, so
man.
it's probably not going for more than 5 online. 2 if you
don't
just want the
be
disc.
ridiculous is if Microsoft added it to Game Pass.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Nah, Leah, did you sign up for Game Pass yet?
Yeah, I did actually. I've tried it a few times. I get it every so often just to have a go on like this and that. I got it to play Sea of Thieves as well. Just
good.
use
So you
my
did play Sea of Thieves. Awesome, because we're going to be talking about that
Yes.
soon too. I'm curious what your opinion is on that when we get to that topic soon, because that's a very divided topic, I should say. Where everyone is. Actually, you know what? That's where we're going to move to now. Sea of Thieves is Microsoft's best-selling new IP this generation. First party new IP this generation. It's a very specific string of text. The only other things you compare it to, I guess, is something like Quantum Break, Rise. I don't think you compare it to Sunset Overdrive because that's Insomniac.
Yeah, or Super Lucky's Tale.
I mean, yeah. Well, that's part of Game Pass now too.
You can't even use Rise, really, can you? Because that was like Crytek that made that game.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So you can't even use
Quantum
that.
Break.
It's got to be the tiniest window possible, and then jump through it.
Yeah. It's pretty insane what they. Yeah, you're right. That is like one of the tiniest windows they could have come up with. What were you saying, OJ?
Oh, nothing. I was thinking because I think you said another game, right? Within what you were talking about, Quantum Break. That was Remedy, and I don't know. They don't own. I guess it's their IP. So I guess they can count it as their IP. But it's just like seems like Microsoft doesn't have any like internal studios making games. Like Rare's like their only big. That would probably be their biggest one, right? For internal studios for this whole. Outside of like Halo, outside of Halo.
I'm sure they count Rise and stuff like that as a first-party IP because I don't know if you guys know this, but there was like a huge kind of internal squabble between Crytek and Microsoft over Rise and who owned the IP. Because I think Crytek thought they owned it and Microsoft thought they owned it. So that's why we haven't had a sequel.
A bunch of lawyers get involved and everything.
Wow, I did not know about that.
Wow, interesting.
I was on an Xbox podcast a couple days ago, Planet Xbox, and they were actually at the time wondering out loud. They were like, "Rise sold really well. Xbox fanboys loved it." They were all kind of baffled why we never got a sequel. I guess that explains it.
Yeah. Wow, that is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, I think they actually did start a sequel to Rise, like it was in pre-production. This is just honestly rumor, but from what I remember, they started it, and Crytek wanted to go multi-platform with it, but that happened, and
it's not fine with Microsoft doing that.
Yeah, Microsoft did not want it on the PS4, so.
See, Max, I told you. I'm looking at this right now. I told you there's almost 1,200 people in here, and it's not even near 600 likes. Exactly what I said would happen.
You were exactly right. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "This won't get to 800," and I called him a liar.
Every time your setups get better and better.
Not even close. I'm joined by OJ of PlayerEssence, RaxTheGreat, and then Liam Robertson. What is it? Liam Robertson Productions, Liam?
Just Liam Robertson, I guess.
We got all the links in the chat for you guys. Evan can drop them in there, and then I also have them in the description. So if you want to run over to their YouTube channel, take a look. If you like what you see, consider subscribing and giving them a like on their videos. But they did, especially Liam. He came out at 2 a.m. here, so. And he has remained still the entire time.
People in chat are specifically complimenting how statuesque you are.
It's very good. Yeah, my lighting is very bright because my cam link is fighting back right now for some reason. I don't know why, but I'll make it better as we go along. So don't worry. I actually ordered a new webcam just to do for this stuff. And then I have some stuff I'll do with Camlink. But yeah, so Sea of Thieves is their best-selling new IP this generation. 2 million people have played. That does include Game Pass, but the sales do not. So people are actually buying this like straight up at retail. And that's kind of surprising to me, to be honest, just because of Game Pass. Everyone I've talked to so far used Game Pass and didn't buy it at all.
Same.
So I don't know who bought this game. Like personally, I don't know anybody who has. I just talked to Liam, Game Pass, Max, Game Pass, myself, Game Pass. I don't know. Is it weird to you guys that it sold so well?
No,
not really, because they added it to Game Pass pretty late in their marketing. Only about a month ago did they announce that this was going to be a big Game Pass push. And B, the advertise behind this was nuts. This was like the summer Xbox game. So I'm not really surprised. I'm sure it's just millions of people who already had a pre-order.
Honestly, I'm not sure how many people even know about Game Pass. I think it's not very well advertised that you can just do this and like sign up and play it for free. I don't think they advertise that very well, especially here in the UK. It's just advertised as a regular game that you buy. So
I was going to ask, how is the advertising over there for Switch and anything like that? Is it good there?
For Switch?
Yeah, like here it's pretty good. Like we actually, if you go into like Walmart or anything like that, we actually have like banners and stuff for the Nintendo Switch all over the place.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of retail stores here, but those that I have been in do have pretty decent Switch placement, a lot better than Wii U. Like the Wii U was next to non-existent.
Well, the Wii U was hard enough to describe to customers as it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We ran into that a lot at the store, where people thought it was like a whole tablet that went for your Wii. So it was tough. It was really hard to describe what it was. The Switch seems a little easier to sell to customers. So we have a lot of banners and stuff all over Walmart. But the Xbox does really well in the UK, from what I remember. Is that marketing good for that too there?
Yeah. The Xbox, and it might be the most advertised from, just me eyeballing it. Like I've seen a lot of stuff on buses for Sea of Thieves, and the X when they were launching that last year. That was pretty heavily advertised too.
Okay.
I've always heard that. I've always heard that specifically Europe is a heavy focus of Microsoft's advertising, and they always try and really make it look like the FIFA machine of like, if you want to do it, this is the box. So I've heard that's why their sales are actually better there than they are in.
I feel like Europe is a battleground that Microsoft would like to take back from Sony. Because I feel like when the 360 was really big, especially in its first year, and then even in the second year when the PS3 was out, the 360 still sold more than the PS3. I think Microsoft wants that battleground back because the PS2 owned like all of Europe for a while there, and then the 360 happened to take a good chunk of it back.
Well, and Xbox One, the first year of Xbox One, it was very dominant in Europe, and now I've heard that they've completely overtaken them. But for a while there, they actually owned Europe.
They're getting bodied in Europe by the PS4. It's not even close.
Yeah.
PS4
everywhere
is
now.
destroying the Xbox One. It's absolutely destroying the Xbox One in Europe. So,
Yeah. It's much different than what it was when the 360 and the PS3 were there.
Much. Europe is completely almost all PS4.
Yeah. 360 was like the FIFA machine back then. That's all I remember. Everyone playing FIFA, almost that, like talking about it and everything. But it's much different now. So it's interesting to hear how advertising varies from region to region. Whereas people were sending me pictures from Japan, and there was Switch Switch everywhere. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And they're trying to sell the Xbox One as the S as a Blu-ray player.
Yep.
It's crazy. But Sea of Thieves is, I guess, that's their game now. What do you think of Sea of Thieves first, though, Liam?
I don't hate it. Is how it's not a very promising start. I think it's perfectly fine, and I'm glad people are having fun with it. I personally didn't find it very enjoyable. I played it with a couple of friends, and we just found the quest system to be particularly tedious. Maybe we weren't figuring it out properly, but from what I could understand, you had to like lay down a quest on a table and then vote on it, and you could only carry 3 at a time. and there was just all these arbitrary limitations upon the quests that really annoyed me. And yeah, I didn't find the quest very enjoyable either when I eventually
I feel like the difficulty and intricacy to the quests weirdly change too. Like I always expected as you leveled and upgraded what you were with the factions that you would get better and bigger quests, but I'm level 30 with the Souls people. I'm still getting quests where it's just one guy, kill him, and then you're done. And that's not interesting to me. So I don't know why they're doing that.
It definitely suffers. I feel like we need to have a new genre called Playground, where they're games that are only meant to be played with friends. Because when I was on a ship with Spawnwave and Evan, and we're going around, and I literally was underneath his ship with this explosive barrel, begging Evan to explain to me how I detonated to sink an enemy ship. Those moments were really, really fun. And then I'd get on a random boat with people with no microphones and be crying with boredom.
Do you, I mean, I thought about this too. Sea of Thieves kind of is viewed by a lot of people as like an early access game right now because they'll be adding more stuff as we go along, and it's very bare bones right now. And it seems like Microsoft kind of got away with one with that. I mean, you see it come out, it still does really well, despite it missing probably a ton of the features it'll have a year from now. People have made comparisons to No Man's Sky. I mean, do you think this is something that Microsoft realized they can do with Game Pass, put out a game that's not near completion and still be able to sell it and still put it into people's hands, put an active user base up for microtransactions, which are coming to Sea of Thieves in like the next 2 months? Do you think it's bad that they can pretty much put out early access games like this and do that? Or do you think it's just the way of Game Pass, they can do it?
I think they definitely know what they're doing. They had a game that's not really finished. They've been working on it for a long time, and they didn't make as much progress with it as I think they thought they would. And they decided, okay, let's just put it out now, and if it does well, then we'll add content later.
You know what, Liam? If you can get some of the background on Sea of Thieves, that would probably be fascinating, because it is weird that it's been 4 years and this is what they have to show for it. I'm curious if there are any speed bumps in there or something that happened.
To be honest, I've only spoken to one person about this, but what he said, and obviously this is kind of uncorroborated, but what he was saying was that there was a little bit of infighting and people disagreeing about very minor things, things that don't really particularly matter to some people, like the design of the ship and basic functionalities like how the anchor would work and stuff like that. And yeah, this is about 2 months ago that I spoke to this particular source, but he was just saying, yeah, they spent a lot of time focusing on minor details when they should have really been focusing on the bigger picture and how you progress and, quests and stuff like that, actual content.
It's kind of clear that either they were understaffed or they didn't agree on a lot of things or technical difficulty, something, because after 4 years, we've been hearing about Sea of Thieves for a long time, and 4 years, and then they come out with this, and it's I don't know, it just seems like there's just not a lot of game there for 4 years of development. It's very weird.
It's the only example I've ever seen where we had the initial reveal trailer 3 years ago when they finally showed it off. The game we got is 100% with nothing changed that original reveal trailer. So it definitely seems like they had the original rough draft down, and then they just spent 3 years going, okay, let's just make that trailer real. All right, we did it. All right, don't do anything else. We're done. Release it.
I think the game's gonna be really cool in like a year and a half when they add a lot of stuff. But it seems like they just had to put it out. They're like, look, we got to put this game out now. We'll put it on our Game Pass. People will just get it for $10 a month, and then I guess some people will buy it for $60. Which, man, if you bought the game for $60, I think I'd be kind of mad actually if I bought the game for $60, to be honest. But they put it out and they're like, we'll give them updates. So
did you see the first guy to get the main thing they kept hyping up and all the real in-depth interviews? They're like, if you become the best at every single faction and complete all the hardest quests in the final raid, you'll be the pirate legend, which apparently is this infamous rank. And the first guy in the world to do it was a streamer who basically cheated to do it. He kept joining people's quests right as they would turn in loot. So he's basically teleporting from boat to boat, getting all the rewards. And so he got Pirate Legend, and it doesn't really do a damn thing.
So you're telling me he was being a pirate?
Exactly. So the Sea of Thieves community, both of the people that are still playing this game are upset about it. I'm not, because I don't care. But they're real mad. And what's really funny is there's supposed to be this giant thing, and I think it just changes your ship to being black. Like,
well, it's supposed to have more effect in the patch they expect to have out in the next 3 months, which is weird to me because they got really detailed with everything they wanted to put into that patch. So I'm partially thinking maybe they already have it, just not fully fleshed out, but we're told to hold off on it to make it seem like they're releasing content over time, which is kind of awkward. But it's kind of weird, I guess, with how they were planning for that whole legend thing to work. Because it feels like when World of Warcraft came out, the way they made it seem like there was a lot of content was making it very hard to get to the end of it.
Yeah, I played at launch. It was slow.
Yeah, so that's how they were able to put out all that extra cool stuff. And I think they may have thought maybe no one would have figured this out. It's very obvious that that's something that can happen. I mean, people already figured out how to get all those merchant chests at bulk just so that you could have hundreds of them and then turn in hundreds of chickens and everything just to get tons of rep. So once you figure that out, you can figure out the steps to make sure one person who has a lot of pull in a community to just get there. So we're kind of seeing what would have happened if in World of Warcraft people figured out how to get to the final level within a week. So like it's this miserable approach to trying to make sure there's time to put the end game content in, and they just got around it.
Look at Dan trying to incite people to hit the like button. Rax, did you play Sea of Thieves?
I haven't played Sea of Thieves yet. I was actually going to pick it up a couple of days ago, but everybody that I either am friends with that has the game or that I've talked to that is currently playing the game either was telling me that they were not going to be playing it anymore or they didn't want to play it. So I was just like, well, I don't want to be lonely at sea, man.
I'll make you a deal, Rax. Serious offer. If you end up installing it, let me know. I'll add you on Xbox, and I'll teach you about sailing because it is actually a little bit complicated. The funnest part of the game is just the first couple hours of figuring stuff out. We'll do that together.
I mean, by all means, man. If I got people to play with, I will legitimately I just don't want to bother you guys all the time because I know you're always either making videos or doing something important.
We're busy people, Rax.
Yeah. We don't have real jobs and we're not working.
Yeah, exactly. don't make me stop playing video games to play video games with you, damn it.
All right.
We're not busy at all, dude. Just hit us up.
I'll go pick it up tomorrow.
They will sail around. Probably see it.
You're signing up for Game Pass, right? That's what you meant to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign up for Game Pass for $9.99.
Yeah, go do that. It works on the PC now. You can buy it on.
Get it on PC or should I do it on Xbox?
If you just do Game Pass, you can get Sea of Thieves on either one. You just download it.
Which one's running better?
Doesn't matter.
It runs great. But I have the original VCR Xbox that looks massive and it runs like a dream. Yeah, runs perfect. Doesn't even make a weird humming noise. You're good.
Nice, very good, very good. So let's talk about Square opening their studio. OJ, you covered this on one of your news videos, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk, introduce some people to Square and what they're doing over there in Tokyo?
Yeah, man. It seems pretty cool because you guys all know Final Fantasy 15 creator, developer of that game, Tabata. He's opening up a new studio named after their engine that they made, their in-house engine, Luminous Studio. So he's opening up a new one, and they're going to focus on the AAA, at least their definition of what they're calling that. AAA bigger end games. So maybe they're already getting the groundwork for Final Fantasy 17. Are we at 17? We're at 16. Yeah. 16. Okay, Final Fantasy 16. Sorry, for some reason I was counting 7 Remake as that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay. So Final Fantasy 16. So maybe they're laying the groundwork for that. There's also some other franchises that could potentially be working on. Maybe they might resurrect something that they have in their old back pocket, Legend of Dragoon or something like that. Maybe they give them something. But yeah, it's like a new AAA studio that they built up with Tabata, who's very they've got a lot of good tech at Square Enix, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do going forward. Of course, I'm excited for it. I cover RPGs on my channel a lot. I cover RPGs and Japanese gaming, so I'm excited to see. Although I'm a little worried about this new studio. It's like, okay, we got this game, and then 15 years later, when my daughter's getting married, I might be able to get to play the game. So that's the only thing I'm a little worried about is
I think the reason 15 took so long is because they were developing that engine alongside it for so long. And I think because the engine's mostly done, it'll probably be less time to get to that next game, maybe 3 to 4 years instead of 12.
Yeah.
So that's my hope, is that it's not going to be another long spell of time. So
if you read a lot of the insider info, most of 15, the first 5 years of Final Fantasy 15, they basically had one room built. They literally had no idea what the game was supposed to be. So hopefully this next one is more directed.
they're moving all their projects over to like Unreal Engine 4. I mean, they might move them back, I guess, to Luminous. Now maybe it's more complete, but they did move a lot of their games. I mean, or Kingdom Hearts to be exact. Kingdom Hearts moved that over to Unreal Engine 4.
I think they had to though, because that Luminous engine was not working out right away for them, and maybe the reason they named this studio after Luminous is because that studio is seriously just going to work on Luminous engine with their games.
Project Octopath is also Unreal Engine 4 as well, so you know. So it's interesting to just see them. If they are going to use the Luminous engine, it's like, I guess, because obviously you don't have to pay as much. Square Enix, they're going to sell a lot of their games. That's a lot of money they got to pay to Epic, with the royalties and stuff. So if they use their own in-house, obviously they're going to make a lot more money. Because
it's got to be for Final Fantasy 16 or I don't want to say it's Final Fantasy 15 DLC. I've had enough of that.
So Tabata has specifically talked about the project. He specifically used the words, or the way they were translated is the project after Final Fantasy 15. He's been talking about that. He said in January, we're finally going to be putting to bed like all the projects we've been working on, and we're going to start the next thing after Final Fantasy 15. So now, basically 3 months later, we're suddenly getting a new studio. All of my hopes and dreams are this is Final Fantasy 16. I've made several videos just begging them to start on Final Fantasy 16. So hopefully.
Yeah. We'll
see. More DLC packs coming for Final Fantasy 15. We got like 4 more.
Yeah.
So
but they made there's a separate team for that now. So yeah, we know we're getting Arden and all that. And of course they're still updating the Final Fantasy 15 multiplayer, which is really weird.
Liam, did you get a chance to play 15 at all?
I did not know. That's another hole in my kind of gaming portfolio. I need to play that because I know they enhanced it on the X.
Yeah,
and I think I kind of held out for that. So maybe later this year, if I get a chance, I'll play it.
Cool.
If you play it now, you're gonna get a much better game than what we all got when we played it. You can switch characters now. There's a bunch of different that they added. It's a lot better. I really liked it back then too. It was like there wasn't much back in 2016, but it was like my game of the year. But it's so much better now.
They fixed some big plot holes too, since the last couple chapters are just let's run to the final boss, and
chapter
now they actually
13 or something is all jacked. I forgot what chapter 11 or chapter 13.
Chapter 13
jacked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was really weird. It literally was they drop you in this giant prison basically, and you wander around for an hour, and it's like, okay, cool, next scene. Like, what was that?
They fixed that. So if you do get it, Liam, it's quite the game now. It's actually solid.
Royal Edition. The Royal Edition has all these cool extra bosses. The Royal Edition is $60. It's the base game. It's all the patches. It's all the DLC. It's the multiplayer. It's everything in one for $60.
And it takes your whole hard. And it takes your whole hard drive, by the way, too. So
it does. Yeah, actually, yeah. Isn't it like it's like 120 gigs or something?
Jesus.
Yeah, clear hard drive space for that game.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I think one of the things that made me kind of trepidatious about getting into it was that I had a friend, and I think he told me that you need to, read up on like the lore or something, or you need to watch movies to understand the plot properly.
No, thankfully they patched that in as well. There was originally, I own the Blu-ray of it because I'm a Final Fantasy fanatic, but the Kingsglaive movie, they actually cut some of the most important scenes and put them in the game. Like occasionally Noctis will go to sleep and dream, and they'll show like basically a trailer of the movie scene. So now you don't miss anything.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know why they had to do that, but welcome to Square.
Yeah. Well, I'm replaying it back on my Xbox One X because Redbox was selling it for $8 the other day.
Now, nice.
I bought it for $8. Yes, can't beat that. Although I still need to get Final Fantasy 12 on the PS4. And OJ, you said you got that for like $15 or something, $12.
Yeah, got lucky. Got a deal, got a sale at Best Buy. One of those flash sales at Best Buy, that just kind of happen out of nowhere. Which they always do that. They had Zelda for Breath of the Wild for $15 too. So
what?
Yeah, they had just the other day, but it sold out quick. I guess it might have been a price error, but they had it for $15. So it was just $15 out of nowhere. I just saw it, used my Best Buy Gamers Club, and it ended up being, or it was like $20, and then it ended up being 15 or something like that, or 12 plus tax or whatever. So it was good stuff. So I got to play that. I've been playing a little bit of it, getting through, and it's good. It's fantastic. It's really good.
Hey Rax, did you see the stuff about Dragon Quest 11?
Absolutely, man. I'm excited about that.
Did you want to run us through the news for Dragon Quest 11 getting a Western release announcement?
I mean, the only thing I really saw was the trailer, and when it comes to something that I get really excited about, I try to steer clear of
anything that might spoil release date and everything.
Yeah, it was like September, right? September 4th.
Yeah. Did you want to walk some of the viewers through real quick the introduction to that topic?
Maybe somebody that's a little bit more on top of that. I mean, basically, all I really know is that it was originally announced for the Switch, and like we don't have a Switch version coming on that date. Basically, we're getting just the PS4 version, from what I understand. Other than that, I just know the September 4th release date, and
Yep,
it's 11.
Dragon Quest 11 announced to have a September 4th release in the US and Europe. Systems are currently PS4 and PC. The 3DS version is strangely being left in Japan, which is very weird. We could talk a bit about that. And then the Switch version is apparently coming, in quotes, much later. So what's everyone think about the 3DS version being left in Japan and not being localized outside of Japan? And then Dragon Quest 11, of course, going to the PS4 and PC with not even a screenshot for the Switch.
Although I'm famous for being the 3DS hater, I'm actually kind of shocked we're not getting the 3DS version, specifically because there was a guy online I follow, maybe it was Happy Console Gamer, actually imported the 3DS version, and he showed a bunch of the stuff, and the 3DS version it's completely different. Like, it's the exact same story.
Yep, it's pretty cool.
But everything is sprites. It's basically like getting the old Super Nintendo Dragon Quest games in modern day. So it's weird that they put all that time and effort into it, and they're not going to localize both. So I hope that it comes to us in some form. Put it on the Vita at a pity or something.
It's lazy. It's so lazy on their end, in my opinion, because there's no voice acting in this game. So it's all text translation. So it's not like they have to hire voice actors and pay more and then figure out how to get it on the cart for 3DS. It's all text.
Maybe every single line was a joke, and jokes take forever to translate. So every line was a joke, which is why it's taking years to do.
Which I guess, yeah, maybe. I mean, I bet it's not an easy game to translate based on Dragon Quest being Dragon Quest. It's not. Yeah. I don't think it's an easy game to translate, but the plot and everything's the same. So I mean, I felt it was just a little lazy on their end. But I mean, Square Enix has shown this laziness before, right? Like they won't localize the Secret of Mana collection. Like, oh no, we're just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've done this before. Some things on Nintendo systems they don't want to do it. They don't want to localize, or they'll wait for Nintendo's help to help us publish it. And if they don't, then it just stays there.
Rax, you said you're a Dragon Quest fan. Are you thinking about picking this up when it comes out?
Oh, absolutely. Like I just cannot wait. Like, in all honesty, like I went out on a hunt to search down like almost every single game that's in North America. It took me a while to find Dragon Quest 8 on the PS2, to be honest with you. But once this game comes out, I'm probably picking it up day one.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I got this series real late. I only got into Dragon Quest in the last 3 or 4 years. I actually bought all of them because I kept finding them for cheap. So I owned all of them. Never even put the disc in my console for some reason. And in the last 3 years,
I liked 8 on the PS2.
Oh, what won me over was Dragon Quest Builders. As dumb as it is, Dragon Quest Builders was that baby's first Dragon Quest that got me into it. And then I went back, and now I've been trying to play through them all.
I had Dragon Quest 7 on the PS1 a long time ago, but I didn't really get that far in it. I remember because I rented it thinking it was something else. And you never rent an RPG over the weekend when you're a kid because you're not getting off that first disc. But 8 did it for me. I liked 8 a lot.
Yeah, I actually went and bought a Japanese Famicom so I could play older Dragon Quest games.
Yeah, I used to actually build those Super Nintendo ones a lot. Dragon Quest 6 got a 3 got a from the Nintendo. Got a remake on the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, and that was the one I built for people all the time. Was the English version of that, and that was really popular. That's actually a really big Super Nintendo game. I think it's 6 megabytes, which is 150% bigger than Final Fantasy 3. So it's very interesting. I don't know, Liam, were you into any of the Dragon Quest games at all?
Not really, I'm afraid. So yeah, sorry, I'm not very helpful this episode.
Oh no, it's fine. What are your thoughts about is it weird to you that the 3DS version is being left in Japan?
I don't really have much to say about that. It is strange because obviously there are many 3DS owners. Maybe it's something that comes later. Have they definitely said it's not coming?
Yeah, it's they've pretty much said there's no plans to localize it currently. And I mean, we've seen this with Capcom, even with Monster Hunter, which makes sense to move that over. But it sold well, right? I mean, OJ, that thing sold like 1.5 million units or something on the 3DS.
Oh, it sold amazing. It sold really, really. It sold really well. But I mean, this is something that, like I said, unless Nintendo steps in because like they have the Dragon Quest games on the 3DS, right?
Yeah.
But Nintendo Nintendo published. So unless Nintendo steps in, they're not going to do it. That's the thing.
Did you see the conspiracy theory people were throwing around about Sony paying to not have that make its way over?
Yeah, I did see that, and I think it's a bit silly. Obviously, I think it's a bit silly. But like, if Nintendo would have like paid for it, then yeah, they would have brought it over. But they didn't, so that's the reason why I say it's lazy. Because if Nintendo doesn't pay for it, then we don't get it. Because we got the other Dragon, and this Dragon Quest game would probably outsell the other Dragon Quest games on 3DS. I mean, I think it's fair to say that I think this one would be better. Than the remakes that were put on there. So
even me, who literally smashes 3DSs on camera, apparently because I hate them so much, I would definitely buy both versions of it. I would love to buy both versions.
Well, did you know there was a special edition in Japan they sold that came with the PS4 and the 3DS version?
What? Dude? That would be what the hell kind of weird box set would
Isn't that weird?
On top of that, there's also like a save link to it too. It's where you can actually transfer back and forth.
Yeah, it's like a code you get, right? Yeah.
It was a crap way of doing it. It's a really crap way, but
it had like a name because they brought it back from the old Dragon Quest games. It was like the something spell or spell of restoration.
Yeah, spell of restoration.
And then they wink. They're like, I sure hope you don't go to another console. And then they wink. It's like, okay,
I know. It's like, look at all these hoops you have to go through in the Switch. You can just do it like, normally.
I wonder if that code works between regions. Like if you take it from like an American PS4 version and you go move it to like the 3DS Japanese version, I wonder if that works.
I think it worked with Golden Sun because all the codes in Golden Sun were basically just translating all the gen you've gotten.
Okay. Here's an easy topic before we take some questions from people. EA, did everyone see that EA pretty much gave up on loot boxes in Battlefront 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit of celebration there by a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do any more pay-to-win loot boxes in gameplay. They're going to be removing them. What's everyone think about this one?
It's been 5 months. It's very late.
Yeah.
Very late. They clearly kept that out there as long as they could possibly push it on shelves. And now that they've lost all they can lose, like, all right, let's just remove the microtransactions.
This will probably go down as one of the most unnecessary things I've ever seen. Like with the franchise. Like this is the most unnecessary. Like this game, I swear, I know I've said this before, but I swear this game would have sold. If they just would have done it normal, this game would have sold like 30 or 40 million units. I think it would have been blockbuster, like huge, like if they would have just done it normally, and just make it because like they have all the tools, right? The game is beautiful. They have the stuff to make it, like the progression of what they do. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's the weirdest part is that the game is fun. It's like you screwed over a fun game by literally, here's more tools to customize your character behind this annoying progression system.
I still haven't played it. I have not played it.
I put a lot of hours in it. If you want to get EA access, you could play the multiplayer for 10 hours for $5.
They're gonna have to pay me to play that game.
They'll give
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so like when it happened on Star Wars, I was just like, man, like I was so excited for Star Wars to come out, and then all of this controversy surrounding it just like really ruined it.
Tell you what, I will look at it when it's in the bargain bin. When I can get it from Redbox for $8, I will take a look at it.
You probably can, yeah.
But that's why the controversy happened for it, because it is Star Wars. I mean, pay-to-win boxes have been around for decades in many games that no one really cares about. So, I mean, that's why it gets built up over time, because no one looks at it, no one thinks about it, and then eventually a big publisher goes, wait, these guys are doing it, obviously we can do it, and that's why it happens.
Liam, did you look into Battlefront 2 at all before loot boxes really took it over, and then kind of I didn't know where you fell on this whole topic?
Well, I actually liked the first one. I know the first one was quite divisive, but I kind of enjoyed it as a casual shooter. It was fairly good. And I was looking forward to the second one. It had much more content. That was the thing. They were pushing in all the marketing. Oh, look at how many more maps we've got in the second one and all this stuff. And then eventually the beta came out and I played that, and I was totally underwhelmed by it. I thought the map design was really bad. And I didn't find it that fun. I thought it was okay though. And I thought, I'll play it for the story, and I might enjoy it, but then all this loot box stuff started popping up, and that just completely killed my interest, so I've never picked it up.
Wow, okay. Yeah, see, I haven't picked it up either. There you go. Max, I think you got a review copy, didn't you, Max?
Yes, and I put many hours into it, and man.
You sounded so sad in that review, man.
Well, because 100% honestly, the reason I was so sad is I actually thought they were going to get away with this. 100%. I actually even made a video called, like, why are broken multiplayer games so popular? Because even as I was playing it, seeing how flawed the system was, I thought everybody would just buy it because it was Star Wars. I did not actually predict that backlash. I'm actually pretty impressed that everybody saw through the deception. But
I'm curious if they learned their lesson. That's the big question.
I hope so. I mean, their stock did not drop very much. Their stock dropped for like a day.
Is the lesson not to do it now, but maybe wait till later when people are a little bit more soft on the issue?
Right.
I think it's just finding new ways to sneak the evil business tactics in. You know?
Well,
Exactly.
I'm going to talk to Liam about it. Liam, like, is there a reason why developers, like anything that you've heard, like, why can't we just do DLC? Like, why can't they just make the game then just do DLC? Does DLC not make as much as it's supposed to make anymore? Like, what's wrong with just doing good DLC? Like, giving a normal campaign then doing good DLC? Like, is there any type of thing that you're hearing behind the scenes or anything like that?
Well, because they did. Well, sorry, you go ahead, man.
Oh, don't worry. I was just gonna say that it's my understanding that microtransactions and loot boxes, maybe we don't buy them, but there's a huge audience that does. And I think they definitely make a lot more money than standard DLC would. Well, especially with the rate that DLC comes out with these games, like with Battlefront, it takes a while to get together, Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely think they looked at how much money the DLC made of the first one, and they thought, we can just sneak some loot boxes in. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, roll the dice.
There's this old market data that came out a long time ago that everybody's so afraid about. And this market data says 85% of people who buy a game take the disc out a week later, take it out of their console, and never put it back in. Only 15% of people ever go back to a game. Yeah. That's why they actually invented season passes, is because they're like, okay, if we sell you the DLC while you're still playing the game and then we have time to make it, you'll probably come back to it later. So that's like the whole strategy. But even those stopped working as well. So that's why they've tried to steer towards microtransactions and loot crates. Is okay, the DLC is free to make you want to come back, but then the microtransactions are where we get our cash.
Yeah, I guess they just were expecting the audience for Star Wars to be like the audience for FIFA, or the people for FIFA just never complain.
Well, remember, everybody actually compared it. There was a big Kotaku write-up about, at the same time that the whole loot crate business was going down, there was some basketball game with the exact same microtransaction. The exact same BS was going down in a basketball game. Nobody was talking about it. This happens in Star Wars. Headline of literally the Wall Street Journal. So it's one of the things where it's like, yeah, that Star Wars name carries it a long way.
Was it NBA Live?
I think so, yes. It was definitely a basketball game.
That's another EA game.
Oh yeah.
Does that game have that crappy basketball game has microtransactions?
It was a big basketball game that came out right around the same time, and it
NBA
had
2K.
2K, dude.
2K
is bad. It's like $5 to get a haircut in that game.
Oh, that's good.
$5 actual dollars.
Jeez.
$5 for a burst fade, yo.
That haircut better make my character fly.
Need for Speed, the new one was really bad when it came to loot crates too, and it's Need for Speed. Like, what, you get car parts out of loot boxes.
Yeah. That what they call the card system. You also had to use those cards in order, to get more rewards for racing. You had to basically buy microtransactions.
What? Oh, that's so dumb. Like, how do you put that into Need for Speed, though?
Yeah.
What happened?
Just one last thing I'll say is that keep an eye out for this, because it's going to keep happening. EA has a history of doing this. I don't know if you guys remember Bad Company, the Xbox 360 version, a long time ago. They tried the exact same shit then. They tried to charge people to buy individual weapons as DLC. And there was a whole controversy about it. And after about a week, they reversed their decision. That was before the game came out, thankfully. But still, EA has been trying to do this stuff, sneak it in there for years. And they'll keep doing it as long as people let them get away. And this is the first time that I can remember when there's been a proper backlash. And they've, well, apart from Bad Company, it's the first time since then that this has really happened.
Yeah, it seems like some of the developers are a little scared now too. I saw Kotaku did a piece where the people from the I guess Battlefield that's coming up, they were like a little worried. Anthem is like terrified.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I guess gamers really even terrified some of the higher ups over this, and the developers at the ground level have to be absolutely terrified right now.
Well, that's one of the few things I heard about. Not from GDC. What was right before GDC? Was it PAX One of the conferences recently, after that whole thing went down, everybody was getting together and it was all the game developers sitting there whispering. And there was a lot of talk among people of, okay, our game already is going to be based on loot boxes. How do we phrase that? They're like, that word is so tainted now. You can't say loot box or loot crate. Like, it's just so tainted. So people are literally like, okay, our game is based on this concept. We have to change the language. It's ruined for a couple of years.
That's crazy. Yeah, if I ever went to GDC, that's all I'd ask about. Just
Right.
ask everybody. What about loot boxes? So,
Dude,
dude, I'm telling you. So let's move into some questions. Let me see. Anything about Spyro? No, nothing about Spyro.
He wants to get that ball rolling.
Yeah, right. Where's Spyro? Where is it now? That's fine. It'll probably get announced eventually. Don't worry, guys. Let me. Liam, did you want to say anything else to any of the viewers before we move on to questions? And kind of ran over you a bit there, here and there.
Not really. Just check out my stuff. I'm at Dr_Cupcakes on Twitter. Full word Doctor. I'm sure you can throw up links or whatever.
Yep.
I'm not sure what number I'm on right now, but last time I checked, I was about to hit 15,000 followers. So it would be nice if I could hit that little, that little landmark while we're on the stream. That would be cool.
You're actually verified too, on Twitter, which is good. How'd that happen? Did they just randomly give you that check mark?
Well, actually, people had started to impersonate me on Twitter, and there was this. I had this pretty bad incident where there was a guy basically going and following people I knew and pretending to be me and saying, "Oh, I'm Liam's rant account" or something. And I got in touch with Twitter, and they removed it, and they said, "Hey, why don't you sign up for verification so people know that that's yours?" And I was okay, and I just signed up, and they accepted it.
I might have to do that because if somebody puts on glasses and starts hitting stuff with a hammer, I'm going to be in trouble. I need to start doing that. Cool. Do you have anything coming up, Liam? I know it's late there. That's why I'm just in case you fall asleep. I figure you want to let people know if you got anything coming up before we take questions.
I'm okay. I'm running on quite a bit of caffeine, so I should be fine for a little bit. I am working on something right now. I don't want to say what it is, but it's probably going to be at least 20 minutes long, and there's be a video about a game that people have been wondering about for some years now, nearly 10 years, I think. So, look out for that on my YouTube channel soon. I don't know when that will be. Maybe in April. I'm not sure.
Cool. That's gonna be neat. I'll keep an eye out for that. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
The new Shrek game. I got it for Switch.
The original Final Fantasy remake for PS3. Sweet.
That's interesting.
Looking forward to Shrek coming to Smash Brothers. Got it.
I would like to hear more about is Visceral Studios and Dead Space and stuff with how that all went down with EA. That'd be interesting. Just throwing that out there. So let me see what we have. Evan, you got anything in the Discord or anything before we move on?
Just a couple things in Discord. We got a little bit of a semi-troll question on Streamlabs.
Nice.
Does Philip have any new info on the Tony Station TS1?
Did anyone follow him on IGN to make sure he said Tony? If anyone asked him about the PlayStation, I forgot to check. I need to check to see if he did that. Because he's running their Nintendo channel over there, and he's the editor for Nintendo. But he's supposed to say Tony if anyone says Sony to him. I'll have to check that. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in like a week. I'll have to check with him. What else do we have? Evan, anything else there?
Let's say that Pokemon doesn't come out this year. Is it still possible that Nintendo gets the units sold goal, and with what franchise?
That's a good question. I think, now if they have Smash, Smash is coming, right? That's the big one.
Yeah.
I still feel like Pokemon's coming this year, though. I don't know.
Yeah, but even with Smash, Smash is a fighting game. Even though it's a grand one in the fighting game scene, fighting games tend to still be niche in their own way. People might still pick it up past that point.
What's Smash sell on the Wii U? Almost 7 million?
Above 6 million.
So it was about 60% attach rate to that thing?
Yeah, and Smash on 3DS sold 10 million or more. So
what? Wow.
Yeah, so it's gonna sell some copies on the Switch. Will it sell Switch consoles? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think people will pick up a Switch for that. But I don't think it would have the same effect that Pokemon has. We know what happens when Pokemon comes out in Japan, like roads shut down. See, Rax is laughing. I'm not laughing. I've seen those pictures. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Let me ask Liam here. Liam, do you think Pokemon is a 2018 game, or do you think it's fall into next year?
I think they are targeting this year, but I don't know if they'll definitely hit that. It'll depend a lot on localization and whether or not that'll be where the question mark is. Can they have all the localization ready for this year to launch? Do a simultaneous worldwide launch again, or like near simultaneous. Otherwise, if it does hit that target, I reckon it'll probably be out like right near the end of the year.
Okay, so you're thinking it might be like a December launch if it does come out?
Yeah, maybe it's like late November, December. I don't know. That's just what I think.
Okay, yeah. So you're thinking mostly hinges on localization. That's why it says 2018 or later on their investors book, their investors papers, is because of that, because it's localization. That makes sense, because you could fall behind on that.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of localization that must go into Pokemon, and I remember I have friends at Nintendo of Europe, and that is something that I often hear about. Can they have the localization ready for this and that? And that is often what a lot of stuff hinges upon. You don't really hear a lot about that, but Nintendo of Europe actually does quite a bit of stuff. They actually work on some of these games. They do engineering, and they contribute towards a lot of these big Nintendo games, but we never really hear about that. I think that's interesting.
It's kind of like the work that just goes unnoticed, I guess, under the radar. Yeah. But I remember when Earthbound came over, there was so much stuff that got changed. I imagine the people at Nintendo of America had to spend so long probably changing things like the hospital symbols and all this stuff. Stuff like that, I guess, is like, it takes time, but there's got to be a ton of pressure on them to get this thing localized and out the door in 2018.
Yeah,
I'd imagine. I don't think they want to put it out early, 2019. They probably want it to be in the holiday.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
That's tough, man. That's tough. I feel like it's coming. It's got to come out this year, I think. But we'll see. We'll see about that. I don't know what else. Fire Emblem's coming this year.
Greatest game ever made.
Oh gosh.
I've got a question for you guys, if you don't mind. You probably get asked this a lot, but what do you think Retro's working on? Because I'm curious to see what people. I was
going to ask you that question, Liam.
Or you were hinting at some stuff on Twitter, and obviously every tweet is a message of some kind that we need to decode. So.
Are they working on Spyro? That's what I think. That's the biggest thing that I want to know.
Let's see. What do you guys think Retro's working on? What do we think?
A random shot in the dark from the tiny couple things. As somebody who has not looked into it very deeply, I'm going to guess some sort of space shooter.
Okay. What do you think, Rax? Any ideas?
I would like to see a Donkey Kong game.
We saw a little message, what is that teaser from? What was that? OJ, was that Nintendo of Italy?
Nintendo of Italy that who continues to do weird things. Yeah, Nintendo of Italy. Yeah.
What do you think, OJ?
I think it's a new IP, some type of shooter, some type of thing. Doc Trey has been uncovering some stuff here and there, and the stuff that's public out there that other people have talked about, but he's been really on it. And I think it's a new IP. I think it's some type of shooter, some type of.
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was like a cinematic type shooter with like a serious story to it and everything. I hope it's something new, just to give them a shot at doing something different. I feel like they've earned it at this point. So I think it's some kind of like cinematic story first person shooter style game. Is the hope anyway. I don't know. What do you think, Evan? Any thoughts there?
No, didn't they announce a while ago that it was supposed to be a new IP?
I think it just got thrown around. I don't know if did they ever actually say that. I don't think they're anything at this point. I think that was just the internet just throwing that around.
All they do is cut prime rib on Twitter. Yeah, that's all they do. That's about it. So
I don't know, man. I just can't wait to hear it. I feel like we're gonna hear something at E3, and we'll probably have their little logo flash during a game or something, and that's how we know it's their game.
But the new Cooking Mama will be good.
The best thing ever. Yeah, right.
Babysitting Mama. That's such an underrated.
Cooking Mama from Retro. That's actually low key.
I can't wait to get that Labo Variety Kit in, and I flip the box over and Retro's logos on it.
That would be awful.
Right.
Oh man. Okay, Liam. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be something that nobody's expecting. I think it's gonna be totally out of left field, and I think it's gonna make people mad.
Oh no!
Oh good.
I think people initially would be like, "What the heck is this?" And then after a little bit of after they've processed it, they might come around to it, and they might think, "Oh, this is actually sounds fun. Could be cool."
They're working on a Digimon game, aren't they?
Oh no, this is. I have a feeling this is going to be a crazy backlash during like the Nintendo Direct at E3 or something.
A hugging simulator.
Oh
That'd be great.
man,
Oh, that'd be weird, man.
why do I have a feeling that it's going to be nothing like a dark, brooding type game? It's going to be a very bright, cutesy type game.
Mm,
I'm getting that feeling right now.
Like,
Like brighter than Splatoon.
Well,
Wow.
You know what the funny thing was? Everyone was mad at last generation because Retro didn't do the next Metroid, you know, when they announced Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
But we got Metroid Prime 4 coming anyway. So it's like, well, you know, whatever they do, they do. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever they put out there, they put out there. Because we're still getting Metroid. That was the thing. Everyone was like, we need Metroid. We want Metroid, you know. And, you know,
They did such a good job on Donkey Kong though. Tropical
it's great, but it's just came at the wrong time, I guess, right?
yeah,
I mean, it's still
I-
coming back out. You know, people play it.
I hope I'm wrong about that. I just kind of think people are very reactionary, especially people get very emotional about what Retro's doing because it's such a great studio and they only produce so many games. They haven't put out a new game in like nearly 4 years. So
4 years. Yeah.
4
Yeah,
years
so-
plus.
I think you're scaring some people right now, man, in the chat.
Most likely before anything's announced, there's going to be 3 camps of people, and they're all going to be like, oh, space shooter, oh, this game, and it's going to get huge and overwhelming, and then they're going to announce. It's not going to be any of it.
To be fair, I do remember a long time ago when Beautiful Joe got announced, people hated the look of it. And then it came out, and it was awesome. I love that game.
I love that game.
Remember Wind Waker's reception? When Wind Waker first, when they first announced Wind Waker?
Dude, I
was just-
love that game, and the AOL message boards hated me.
Dude, no, I hate it. The first magazine cover, they came to it, and my friend brought it to school, and he was like, "Look what they did to Link." And I remember, screw those dumb cat eyes. And we literally drew him as a big cat and laughed at it. We're such jerks.
It might have
Everyone
been.
was go ahead, dude.
That might have been the game that we argued about on N64.com.
Oh yeah, I was.
do you remember the
funny.
name? Do you remember the name everyone had for that game? Like back in the day, everyone was calling it Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that game. I love the way it looked right away too. People
Me
hate
too.
like I was like the only one at school that liked the way it looked and everything.
Yeah,
Although
me and my,
I was
me
one
and
of the
my
only people
brother got
that's-
into a huge argument, for like hours on end, because my brother he's 7 years older than me, you know, so he was already what was he? He was already, I think, in college at that point when that game was going. So he was irate. So it was great that we argued for hours.
My friends and I all boycotted it. Everybody I knew boycotted. I didn't play it until I was like 25, and so I was like, "Hey, you want a copy of Wind Waker?" I was like, "Oh yeah, there was a Zelda. Yeah, let me play it." Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that game.
I don't know if you guys remember the first video they showed of Wind Waker, but I think that had a lot. If you go back and look at that now, you'll see why people, were so crazy about it. Because, to be fair, the cutscene that they showed was much more kind of exaggerated in how animated it was in comparison to the final thing. The final Wind Waker is kind of serious for the most part, but the first cutscene they showed, Link, his animation is very exaggerated, and it's almost kind of like Looney Tunes-y a bit.
Yeah.
Well, even before that, though, remember there was that 10-second teaser trailer they showed about Project Zelda Wind Waker that had the art of Twilight Princess. Like that's basically what it was.
Ocarina of Time.
Is that what that? Oh, was it? Because I remember
Ocarina.
he's in the underground dungeon in front of that big like sewage drain looking thing, and I always see that. Was that just a tech demo on GameCube of Ocarina of Time?
That was like Space. Was that Space World or something
Space
like
World
that? 2000.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yep. But I think that Wind Waker and everything went down there is what led to that massive reaction at E3. 2004 when they showed Twilight Princess for the first time, and people lost their mind. That's one of the craziest reactions you'll ever see at E3.
Oh, that was so great, that trailer, though. That is one of the best reveal trailers of any game ever. It's so cool. You got like the Conan the Barbarian music coming in. It's so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, they have Miyamoto come out with a sword and shield, just swinging that thing around. Like people at stagehands are like, "Oh man, Miyamoto's going crazy," and he's just like sitting there swinging a shield and sword around.
It was
That
great
was
because
great.
that was Reggie's first E3, right? Wasn't that Reggie's first? Like, I'm gonna
Yeah,
kick
he had,
ass.
he had no idea what was going on there when Miyamoto hits that stage. I'm telling you.
He just got out of he was CEO of Pizza Hut before that, so he went from slinging pizzas to slinging swords.
Dude, that was if you go back and look at that E3, by the way, that was an insane E3 for Nintendo. I went back and looked at it for a video, and they had like everything. They had Metroid there. The second one, Paper Mario, I think, was there. And then they were Resident Evil 4. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They revealed the DS, and then they showed Twilight Princess to close out.
Was that the year they had the Capcom 5? Or was that 2003?
No, that was the Capcom 5, which I was reading about that again recently for a video, and it's funny that of the Capcom 5, didn't only 3 of them come out? One got canceled and one got ported to another console, right?
And only one of them was exclusive, I think, in the end. Oh, actually,
no, it was PN03, right?
Yeah, and that was not very good.
Yeah, exactly.
All the others were fantastic, but they were on other things like PS2.
Mm-hmm. One of them, the one that I was really looking forward to, like the Dead Phoenix or something like that. That got that got canceled.
Everyone thought that was going to be Kid Icarus. Mm-hmm. You remember it was like a flying guy with like an angel with wings, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is a stealth Kid Icarus reboot." No, it wasn't, and it got canceled.
Stealth dead.
Yeah.
Let me pull up some of these super chats that have happened throughout the show and just go through those real quick.
We got a couple others from Discord too.
Oh, sure. If you want to do those first, then I'll go through.
If Smash Bros came out with the online service, would it push back Virtual Console for N64 and Wii, or vice versa? Or would they be released at the same time with no issue? I mean, it should be no issue, right?
I think Virtual Console is part of the online. That's what we believe anyway, or at least the games that they give you every month is going to be part of it.
I mean, you drop Smash with online and that at the same time, it's just more of a reason to get it.
My hope personally is that we get Smash before the end of the year, of course, but my hope is that we get Virtual Console late summer or very early fall. I want Virtual Console and the online service as fast as humanly possible, and everything else after that, but Virtual Console to me is top of my list.
Okay. Everyone wants Virtual Console because we just want everything on that Switch, man.
Mm-hmm. It's not even just the Virtual Console; it's the online function for it. I want to play those games with people. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, though. Yep. They talk about it right on. If you sign up for the your account on, they still talk about it. They're like, you can play Mario 3 with people online.
Well, I mean, so like Bomberman, I'm a big fan of Super Bomberman. It's gonna be awesome to play Super Bomberman and get destroyed by 9-year-olds in China. Hell yeah, count me in.
Switch is even out in China yet.
Don't ruin my dreams, OJ. Back.
That's great. I don't know, OJ. What do you want with that online service, man? You want Virtual Console, Smash?
I'm not huge on Virtual Console, guys. I'm not the biggest on Virtual Console paying because I was before, but like I'm done paying for these games over and over like these. But they do have the online. That's the big thing. So I am looking forward to like.
But what if they were GameCube games?
The GameCube that'd be different because we haven't had that before. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, how many times have I bought Mario 3? How many times have I bought like these games on the Wii U, 3DS, and like Nintendo's had horrible systems of not being able. Like, I think you could transfer it over for like $1 or something like that, or one of them like you could, but you still have to pay. So I mean, for me, I'm not huge on it, but I'm looking forward just to be able to play Smash Brothers. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. Is like because like the Wii U Smash Brothers Online is terrible. Like it's not very good. So I'm looking forward to them making improvements to that. So I actually want to see how it affects their new games and their current games more so than Virtual Console and stuff that I've already played. So
dude, I've been playing GameCube games through this Eon adapter for the past week. Man, if they put it on the Switch and get those things up-res to 1080p, it's gonna look insane. I was playing Fire Emblem on there, and it's ridiculous. So. I hope GameCube comes to it.
I would love that. I mean, there's a lot of cool games, right? Like if they could get like Beautiful Joe and stuff like that on there, like that would be great to play on the go. Like I think Beautiful Joe would be perfect. Stuff like that would be great. So I mean, that for me, like GameCube would be different. So
I remember Beautiful Joe actually was among the games that were rumored to come to the Virtual Console service. Back when Eurogamer was reporting that there was going to be GameCube on the Switch and that kind of thing. That was one of the games. There was several first-party Nintendo ones like Animal Crossing, and that was one of the third-party ones. And I think Sega was supposedly among the publishers that were in on the Virtual Console thing. I don't know what's happening with that right now, but I get the impression that basically Nintendo put the brakes on and they went back and they overhauled everything. And I think originally it was going to be like traditional Virtual Console, but now I think after maybe it's about 2016 or I don't know, around just before the Switch was launching, they kind of put the brakes on it and they thought, oh, we can, do something different, whether that's going to be like Netflix style thing or, I don't know. But yeah, I do think we're definitely going to get GameCube stuff.
Oh, nice.
So That's
I'm
my
hoping, man.
that's my.
I have to feel like it because X1 can already play GameCube stuff. It's been shown to. So yes, we need it. We need it. Absolutely. But I would actually like a subscription service. Some people don't like the idea. I like the idea of like a Game Pass for the Switch. But with like all older games.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem as long as they offer, as long as you can buy them as well. I don't think it'll be an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could buy them or you can just pay like $10 a month or something. Honestly, Nintendo's library, if it's big enough, might even be worth $15 or $20 a month if there's enough there. But that's somebody who would pay that, which is me.
Yeah, I would not expect GameCube games to be cheap based upon their previous pricing and how recently GameCube games have come out, and look at how much like Luigi's Mansion or Animal Crossing is if you want to buy a new copy of it, or like just a decent secondhand copy of that now. It's still kind of expensive.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they could put Melee on the Switch, Smash Bros. Melee for like $30 to $40, and people would buy that thing like crazy.
Yeah.
At that price, no questions asked.
If it was a picture perfect port of the game, and it was right there on the system, and they enhanced it with online, that would be very, very valuable in the Melee community, because no more CRT TVs, no more lugging around Wii's or GameCubes. They usually use Wii's now, so no more lugging around Wii's. Like, you have your Switch. Not only that, but that would just help out. Like, it would revolutionize, in my opinion, the Smash Brothers scene with Smash Switch and Smash Melee. You bring one system to have tournaments in there, more people can bring it. It would really cut down on clutter. It would save space, time. I mean, that would be a really good thing for the competitive Smash community, which I'm a part of. So, I think that would be great. If they were able to do that, that would really be good. But it has to be Melee on the game. It needs to be exactly like it was. There can't be any changes to the core fundamentals of the game, or
quote enhancements, unquote.
There can't be. It has to work exactly like it works. Otherwise, it'd be a problem.
The game I want for this is F-Zero GX, because imagine how crazy that would look in HD. I don't know if you guys have played that, but
this game that I have in my hand right here. Yeah, I've heard of it once or twice.
Max played it on Dolphin.
Did you get that? Did you get that Eon adapter yet, Max?
No, I talked to the guy and he said he'd send me one. It's been a couple weeks.
I played F-Zero at a progressive scan through HDMI, and it looks great. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I want to get it to test out Skies of Arcadia and Resident Evil 4.
Oh, Skies of Arcadia. That's a game that needs to come back too. Or just can we get a new Skies of Arcadia, please?
Well, that's still one of the best boxes ever to get packaging in.
The director.
Sweet. Love that thing. Let me go back through. Max, you said Skies of Arcadia?
Yeah, the director said we're never getting another one.
That doesn't support progressive scan.
My God,
I already tried it. It doesn't ask for it when I held the start at the GameCube.
So a new Skies of Arcadia, Sega. Can you just give us a new Skies of Arcadia? Well, no, I don't want characters in Valkyria Chronicles. I want Skies of Arcadia.
That's actually what this is. The director of Skies of Arcadia actually responded to a fan a couple years ago, and he specifically said they're never going to make another Skies of Arcadia because they just don't think that the team just doesn't want to get back together and do it again. It's just the thing of like nobody wants to do it, and Sega doesn't want to force them to do it.
I don't like you for telling me that. That's how much I'm upset right now. I don't like this.
Well, it's also the weird thing because I consider that game such a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. It's weird to think that they did not have fun making it because it's such a bright, colorful, fun game. It's like, was this a tough process? Because it came together beautifully.
I'm in a bad mood.
You guys, we'll move on to some of these super chats. This one's from Lycon Zero. The models in Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon were designed for HD, which is why they look so good in Citra, upscaled to resolution close to 4K. I actually have not used Citra at all, but people say that the Pokemon models look really, really good when you put them up to like 1080p or 4K. What do you have you guys played Citra at all on the 3DS? Anything?
No.
I haven't.
What that is.
It's a 3DS emulator that a lot of people use. Maybe I'll look at it just to push the resolution up, see what it looks like. I have seen screenshots, and yeah, it does look really good. Like they could probably get away with something like that on the Switch if it is pushed up to straight up 1080p. But I don't know if people would still be happy with a 3DS game being upscaled for the Switch. I feel like most people at this point have their expectations to like wow me with like a brand new looking Pokemon.
If this isn't Pokemon Stadium with 5 Pikachus killing each other in the middle of a pit, I'm not buying it.
I saw what you said, Evan. We'll get to those too. Joey Demko says Pokemon Hiroshima and Pokemon Nagasaki.
Oh my
That's
god.
the name of them.
Jeez.
You know,
Thanks,
I
Joey.
thought about making that joke earlier on. I just thought, no, Liam, just push that to the back of your head. That's terrible.
Same. I was like, no, I'm not gonna be the one to do that.
Now
I'm
that
gonna
very
comment on
uncomfortable
that.
history's been brought up. Jonathan Reed says, bring Mizati on SpawnCast. I think OJ, you know who that is, right?
I do. He's a
Okay.
good friend of mine.
Okay, we can look
Yeah.
into that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Daniel J says, isn't Game Pass not available in all regions? And if it isn't, does that mean they have to buy the game full price? You know, I don't know. I don't know where Game Pass is available in, if it's everywhere or just not. Maybe it's missing a few regions. I believe it's available in most like standard regions at this point because it's an online service. Although I know terms of service have to be like within certain guidelines in certain regions. But I only really talk to a lot of people in the US. I assume it's available where you are, Liam.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if it's just, I guess it's just rolled out everywhere.
I'm doing research right now.
Oh,
It looks
cool.
like the plan is to try and roll it out everywhere, but it's not yet.
Okay. I'm curious which places it's not, like maybe like Australia it's not, or
Maybe some European countries like Norway. Sometimes they get stuff last.
did who you call it? Irene,
maybe
did she get it through
Korea.
Game Pass? I should have asked her if she got it on Game Pass. She's in Norway, I believe.
I think she said
I
she
found
doesn't have an Xbox.
I found the current list of
Oh,
countries. It's a limited list, but it's most major countries.
Okay, it's like smaller countries might be missing it. Okay.
Yeah. If you live in Estonia, you're not getting it.
But I mean, I assume they're going to continue rolling it out everywhere. Just because it's an online service, it's not like they're shipping stuff anywhere. So,
I'll put in Hangouts chat if anyone was interested.
all right, cool. Wishbone says, you think PS5 will be announced at E3 early, like the PS4 Neo was back in 2012, or however long ago it was? What do you guys think about PS5 being announced in 2018? I guess.
I don't at all believe it.
Yeah, I don't think that they would want to do that. Just like, aren't they still trying to pump out as many sales as they want to? I mean, like for the PS4. So why, send up a red flag like, hey, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, wait till 2 years from now.
You know what I mean?
I think they have 100 million pretty much lined up in their crosshairs for the PS4 right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you'd announce your next system if yours is still selling. They just shipped like 18 or
True.
20 million or something like that this past fiscal year. So I don't. They're waiting for Microsoft to announce the first thing, I think.
It could be that, or it could be. I do think that the main thing that will probably push them to do it is the game makers, because already game makers are really kind of putting pressure on Sony, being like, all right, this stuff's getting a little bit outdated. Like, we can't exactly make a Witcher 5 on this thing.
Sure. That's tough though, man. I don't know. See, that's tough because if I'm Sony, I'm like, this is the Xbox One X is more powerful in our system, and we still sell more.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, the PS4 base model sells better than the PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I don't have a Pro. I don't even plan on getting a Pro because I have the
I have a
base
Pro,
model.
and I don't know why I bought it. To be honest, I don't have 4K TV. I just bought it to buy it. Apparently, it's very loud.
Does it make your VR run better? Like, have you used your VR on both the regular PS4 and the Pro?
No, actually, I bought my VR a few months ago when it dropped to. I figured out a little loophole where Walmart dropped their price of the Gran Turismo bundle to $200 with a price match. So I got my VR with the camera with Gran Turismo Sport for $200.
Wow.
Yeah, super happy about that. So I bought that. But I never tried it on the regular PS4. I've heard it runs better on the Pro. And it should, because it's rendering a 1080p image, I guess, with the little box. Like, dude, hooking this thing up is a nightmare. There's like 18 cables running everywhere, and there's another
you think
box.
hooking that up is a nightmare? I just got the HTC Vive because it dropped in price from $600 to $500, and it literally took me 3 days to get everything that I needed to.
That comes with
to
like a
hook it up.
leash and everything, right?
What do you mean, like for something?
Yeah.
It has a long cable, but it doesn't have anything like. In all honesty, for an ideal setup for this thing, you really want something on your ceiling that can hold the cable up, because I am constantly stepping on it.
Yeah, see, I don't trust myself to be walking around with VR on my head.
But that's the cool thing, like, so I'm assuming your judgment is coming from, and sorry to get way off topic here, but I'm assuming your judgment is coming from playing the PSVR, which, in all honesty, the two are just almost night and day, because the Vive actually has this thing where you kind of track your room scale if you're playing in room scale mode. And what happens is if you get too close to, say, something like your TV or something like that, this blue wall will pop up and be like, oh, nope, you're getting a little too close to that. So if your hand goes through that blue wall, you are in danger of hitting something. But it kind of gives you like the initiative, like, step back.
You know what would trip me out is if they had like a camera part of it and like you can see yourself through the visor walking around. That'd be crazy.
I mean, there's a camera on the front of the Vive, but
man, I don't know, man. The Vive sounds crazy. I don't even know if I guess I'd have room down here, but man, that would be insanity. So nice. Yeah,
I've been playing Fallout 4 and it's amazing.
I just want to play Wipeout. Wipeout's fun.
Yeah.
I did Skyrim on PSVR. I'm one of the first people who played it in the world, and I really did not like it.
Max, you can get a VR. PlayStation VR is $300 now, man.
I'm thinking about picking one up. My girlfriend's obsessed with Batman, so I'm thinking about getting PSVR and putting her through the Batman demo.
Wipeout.
And also Wipeout.
So Batman Wipeout.
You can actually play online. They have 8-person online for that. Like everyone can be in VR.
John just wants to play against you. That's about it.
I get movement sickness real easy. So if I do it, I keep movement sickness medication in my desk. So that if I'm doing stuff like that, I'll do one race, take a pill, do one race, take a pill.
Just take the pill before you even do it. Trust me.
Like,
it's gonna get you there.
We're going in, boys.
Dude, I was racing and like you get off a jump and your craft decides to do a really cool trick, which in their terms is spin around in a barrel roll 4 times.
God, I don't even want to imagine that.
And I didn't know, but you can turn it off so your head doesn't go with it. You can actually turn that off so you just see the parts spin. But that first time I did that, I was like, where am I? Like when I landed. So it was crazy. So no one really thinks the PS5 is going to be announced 2018 at all anywhere.
I know. There's no no.
Okay. Okay. 2019 then maybe 2019.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to put my flag in the ground because, the stuff I've heard is that we're going to be seeing a new Xbox One shown off at some point in early 2019 or 2018. The name Xbox 2 is going to be said somewhere. So,
so the PS5 will launch with Death Stranding as a launch title.
Exactly. Well, I hope so. But my thing is that I feel like as soon as Xbox makes a move, I expect that PlayStation will make the move just because. I mean, not to flash back to 10 years ago, but the Xbox 360, part of the reason it had such crazy success, it was on store shelves a full year before the PlayStation 3. Having that head start, I mean, they dominated for a long time because of it.
Yep. Took a whole generation for the PS3 to evenally catch it when Microsoft. Yeah,
exactly. So I think Microsoft's trying to recapture that magic.
Let's see. I think PS5. What if they change Daniel J says, what if they changed loot box to goodie box?
Saw that
would work.
Well, I mean, Fortnite's is pinatas, so
yeah, I love those pinatas.
Let's see. At a certain point, what is this? Forces big public companies do anything that will make them more money. At a certain point, microtransactions make so much money they can't skip. That's pretty much it. I remember, what was it, last year? FIFA made EA $800 million.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Activision total made $1 billion in microtransactions last year.
It's like, you know what, people are gonna cry, but we're just gonna put microtransactions in, and it's gonna be part of gameplay. It's just, I think Disney, like we heard Disney got kind of involved, and that might be why. And then loot boxes turn into gambling, and then government gets involved, and they don't want any part of that. That was too far, I think, for them.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting. Remember, because Rockstar made an official statement a while ago. People were asking them in a really vague way of being like, are you going to be putting these same sort of GTA 5 microtransactions in Red Dead 2? And they basically pretty much alluded to, like it makes us billions and billions of dollars. Like, of course we're going to put that in the cowboy game. Yeah.
Brain Gillick says, I don't like that people are so forgiving on AAA companies. Square Enix, when it comes to wait time for games, decades in the making, should fans sue? I don't think fans can really sue them, but I
imagine.
Like, I'm suing you for not putting out a game that I can't buy right now.
I mean, honestly, how long did we wait for Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh my God.
We're still waiting.
70 years.
I mean, the only time it's valid is if you dumped a bunch of your own money into it and then they never delivered. That's about it.
Someone might have a case against Star Citizen if that ever happened.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at least able to play it if they've spent the $100.
That's a good point. You can play it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Square is pretty bad about that. I will say that they're pretty bad about that. I mean, when we saw Final Fantasy VII Remake, like 2015. Liam, have you heard anything about? I'm just asking. Have you heard anything about Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Nope.
Okay,
Afraid not.
fair enough.
So what's funny is I'm in a bunch of really hardcore Final Fantasy fan groups on Facebook just because I'm obsessed with Square Enix so much, and those people just don't care. It's really weird, but the most hardcore fan base, they just look at every piece of concept art and break down every trailer, and that's half the fun for them. Once they get the game, I just see them stop talking about it sometimes.
Let me see. Oh wow, okay. A bunch of these just dropped in. Let me go through these. Oh, there goes Sean with the how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? I thought I couldn't say that right in a row. I thought the owl did it in 3, right?
Yeah, he does.
3.
He cheated.
R. Potter, our resident timestamper. What if Melee came to 3DS?
Why? Is that even a? That's not. Is he joking? That's a joke, right?
I don't know.
If we're doing that hypothetical, man, you're gonna start seeing 3DS sales spike again.
Well, people freaked out when we saw Luigi's Mansion go to the 3DS, right? People were super confused. I think the fan base would freak out for a minute. But I also think it would sell just because it's Melee on the 3DS.
That is the darkest timeline.
Yeah, that is the. Thank you. What a worthless waste of time to put Melee on the 3D. Like, that would be so worthless. That does not serve anybody. So worthless. Because the tournament scene can't. I mean, you could use it like 3DS capture cards, but 3DS capture cards are like horrible. Like doing
that's a good point. Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to play against other people. I don't know.
They've done it before. Like when Smash 4 first came out, they had tournaments, but it was trash. Like people were just like, everyone was just waiting for the Smash on the Wii U. You know, like just like setting that up. Like, oh man, like that. I don't know why that made me upset, but it did.
Over there a little bit, man. Cersei Julius says, you guys remember Sleeping Dogs? Wouldn't that be a cool exclusive for Microsoft if they could assemble that studio again and secure that canceled sequel? They can afford it, right? They can afford it. They could do it.
I loved Sleeping Dogs.
It was a nice game, but there was so much space in there that they didn't even use.
Was that the game that they found that abandoned dev kit somewhere and they found like data on it for Sleeping Dogs and then that pointed to a sequel that never happened? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Well, because that was basically True Crime 3. Yep. And so when they were working on that, they decided that they wanted to reboot it and start as a new series. So as soon as they were done with it, they started making the sequel, which never happened.
I think that'd be cool, man. Why not? I mean, honestly, Microsoft needs exclusives, so yeah. I mean, Fable and Halo 6 we assume is coming E3, but that's a cool surprise.
I only beat that a couple of years ago when they gave away the remaster for free on Xbox, and I just bought my Xbox at the time. So I ended up just spending a whole weekend just beating everything, doing all the fight clubs, everything. That game is so magnificent.
I've always really wanted to see that come to the Switch because, I've played it, but I think, there's an audience for that there. There isn't, we don't have GDA on the Switch, so that would kind of fill that void, I think.
Yeah, why don't we have GTA yet?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool with announcing Sleeping Dogs for it right up until GTA gets announced, and they'll just like stop.
There's one thing you can in Sleeping Dogs though. You can get on a motorcycle, stand up, jump off, land on the hood of somebody's car, drive down the highway, and climb into it. You can't do that in GTA.
There you go. You heard it here first. NX Revolution asks, "What do you guys think is the big E3 surprise from each of the companies?" That's a good question. Big E3 surprise. You can name
multiple ones.
I'm going to guess that Sony has some giant new IP. I base it on nothing. I haven't heard a rumor or anything, but I have a feeling that they're just going to try and wow us with something that we've never seen before. Because let's face it, the Anthem shocker of the Xbox conference last year got a lot of people talking. So that's my big guess is that Sony's been working on something real secret, and this is going to be their time to take the stage.
I mean, this is Sony's going to obviously have Spyro there, so that's right there. That's in the bag, right? In the bag. I think Nintendo's big surprise will be Retro's game at this point because nobody knows what it is. That's probably what their big surprise is there. And maybe Animal Crossing would be fun to see. Personally, I think that'd be cool. And maybe a release date for Yoshi finally. What would Microsoft have? Halo is obvious.
Mixed reality for PUBG.
That'd be
Oh
weird.
gosh, I could throw up after playing that at 15 frames per second. It'd be fun to see is if they did something with like Conker's Bad Fur Day or something like that.
That would be amazing.
Young Conker, baby. Young Conker for the HoloLens. Let's go.
They asked me for feedback for Super Lucky's Tale when I was playing it before it came out, and I sent them a piece of advice, and I was like, make this Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I'll buy it next time.
I bet they heard that from everybody, because every piece of feedback I saw online, everybody said that. That must hurt.
Because that announcement at E3 was literally like, all you see is that tail jumping around, and I was like, oh my god, it's a new Conker, and then it was just like, what the?
It's Conker before all the developers and people made fun of him, and then they turned it into Conker. That game looked exactly like Super Lucky's Tale before they turned him evil.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. If you go back and look at that, I'm trying to think of the documentary for that.
Conker's like 12 Tales or something like that.
12 Tales, yeah. And there's a lot of footage of it. They were clearly about 40 or 50% done with the total game. There's entire levels built that you can run around in. There's like a leaked demo, and it's like, yeah.
It's like they walked away from that, and they're like, "We'll show them," and like brooding music started behind them, and then they start working on it.
Giant poo bosses were formed.
Yeah, dude. They just wanted to It was so funny.
That thing saying.
I think there's a whole like I'm trying to think of who did it. It might have been on G4 that I watched that back in the day. There was a whole like documentary thing about it. It was really funny. What about Liam? Any surprises you'd like to see just off the top of your head at E3 from the company?
Well, I think Nintendo's one is definitely Retro's thing, but for Microsoft, I agree with you. They have to bring back a classic Rare franchise. I don't think it's going to be Conker. I think it's much more likely to be Perfect Dark.
Yeah, I was just
the Perfect Dark rumors.
Because I'm actually not sure some of those Perfect Dark rumors out there are accurate, but I know Microsoft has definitely been shopping Perfect Dark around to several studios. Like I've spoken to people who've been like, Microsoft offered us Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some push for that at Microsoft for I think what they want is more of a kind of a narrative puzzle-driven shooter type thing. They want something that isn't just straight up shooting like Gears and Halo is. They want something that will stand out from their other sci-fi IP, because from what I remember, don't know if you guys remember, Perfect Dark Core was like this cancelled sequel to the original Perfect Dark that was being made for the 360, and it was being directed by Chris Seaver, who Hughes Conker. And back in the day, the reason they canned that on the Xbox 360 was because Peter Moore, who was the head of Xbox at the time, he looked at it and he thought, "Oh, this is just like Halo and Gears of War." So I think they are going to bring it back, and they're going to work out some way so it's substantially different from all those other ones, and it stands out.
That is,
I think it's going to be Perfect Dark sooner or later. Yeah,
I'm excited for Perfect Dark. I love Perfect Dark back in the day, and then I got really sad when I played it on the 360.
Hey, I like Perfect Dark.
You didn't like the 360?
I didn't know.
Everybody seems to hate Zero. I liked it.
Man,
even the stupid soldiers who have glass armor and you shoot them and they shatter. I thought that was awesome.
The only thing I liked about it was the floor was shiny, because back then that was a big deal. The floor
graphics were good.
Everything was shiny. Their foreheads were shiny. The guns were shiny.
Yeah. Everything looks like plastic. Like they all look like toys.
It's like somebody went around spritzing everything. It's just like, let's shine this up.
It was great. I loved it. Cam just says Simpsons Hit and Run. I guess that's Retro's game. That's Retro's game, is new Simpsons Hit and Run.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, right.
Let's do it.
Maybe deep down will resurface and get a release date. Probably
Hitting the wrong one that got him sued. I was confused the two. There's the one that was like GTA and the one that was like Crazy Taxi. The Crazy Taxi one got him sued, so we'll never see that sequel.
Hit and Run is the one that get out. Yeah, Road Rage is the one that was like Crazy Taxi. The Robot Chicken asked, why can't any of you pronounce nuclear?
Here in Texas, we pronounce it.
I think I said it right.
Nuclear. Isn't that how Homer says it?
We go nuclear.
There's dialect to everyone's voice, so everyone's not going to pronounce everything the exact same way.
Here's a question for Evan. Matthew Cheng asks, question for Evan. What do you think about Artifact gameplay?
I mean, it's all right. It's a card game. Still, of all the card games right now on PC, the only one I'm really interested in is Duelist, just because of the tactics element to it.
Okay, so you're not really that interested in Valve's new Artifact game at all, really?
I enjoyed watching the announcement for it when everyone got really mad.
I thought you'd be kind of interested in it because it's using the person who did Magic the Gathering is helping make it, and you like Magic.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just the same thing. Do I want to play another card game like it? Whereas Duelist has the element of tactics involved on top of it, which is just that extra level of fun, I guess.
There you go, Matthew, straight from heaven. Sakon 10 says, "Is it viable for Nintendo to revive a dead franchise?"
Anything can be viable. I mean, at this point, Conquer is a dead franchise, but you could revive it; it'll be viable.
Nintendo's revived dead franchises before, or like franchises that have taken a long break. Before, like Punch Out, we hadn't had a Punch Out since the Super Nintendo, right? And then Punch Out kind of came back. Yeah, and then they brought it to the Wii. So I mean, everything can be brought back.
What's a franchise that's been missing for a long time from Nintendo? Do we have any off the top of our head?
Golden Sun.
Golden Sun. Ooh. That was kind of on the DS, right? It just didn't make it.
It bombed on the DS though.
There's also there's a couple ones. Yeah, F-Zero, obviously that's the big one everyone's been asking for. F-Zero. They have some older stuff too, that they could, but I mean it'd be weird. What's that game on the NES? Where like the yo-yo and dude jumps. I forgot what the name is. NES game.
I know what you're talking about too.
Captain Rainbow?
No, not that game. Somebody in the chat could probably say it's it's kind of like Zelda, but not. I forgot what it's called.
Is that Star Tropics?
Star Tropics. There we go. Star Tropics. They have stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if that's.
Why does everyone want a reboot of Star Tropics? Like, where is that coming from?
I don't. I'm just saying this long lost franchise that they can reboot. I mean, I don't. I personally don't. I think the game. I don't like the game at all. But that's just me.
2019 prediction. This is from Brian Gillick. 2019 prediction: Metroid 4, Pikmin 4, Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Eclipse, Animal Crossing PS Orange Juice. Do you think we'll get Tokyo Mirage or Fire Emblem port? Oh, OJ, he was asking you. He called you the juice, man. Do you think that we'll get Tokyo Mirage or Fire Emblem port?
We won't get any no Fire Emblem port though. It's going to be a new game. Right. In terms of Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I would. My heart says yes. I want Tokyo because that game is severe. I mean, not severely.
It was badly handicapped by the Wii U, right?
It was handicapped. Well, the developers programmed it in a way to handicap it from the Wii U. Like the game literally needs, like, if you want to use a pro controller, you have to use two controls. You have to, and any game that does that is a problem, right?
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to use the gamepad to look at messages, to do certain things, even if you're using a pro controller. So that game could really use a Switch port. It's good. It's really good, but it just failed. So it just didn't sell at all.
As for the 2019 prediction, I thought about it more as to one of the questions we were talking about before for E3. You think they'd bring Wonderful 101 over to the Switch?
I would want it, but they teased it, right?
They did tease it. That's what I was asking.
Teased it, so maybe it's possible.
I think actually what they were doing then when they put that out, I don't think they were actually working on it. I think that was a thing to test the waters, and so they could go to Nintendo and say, "Hey, there are people who want this," because I don't think Nintendo would have been absolutely down for funding a port of that game because it just bombed. Yeah. I love that game. That's probably my favorite Wii U game, but yeah, I just don't think Nintendo would have been convinced to port it. I think they were working on Bayonetta, and at the time, probably Kamiya wanted to do Wonderful 101 as well. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's my theory about that.
Sure. Daniel J asks, with Microsoft doing games as a service, does this mean they'll stop doing single player games? For their first party stuff, kind of. I mean, I'm trying to think of any single player games that they're coming out with right now, and they don't have any.
It's not a good business move, in my opinion, to do single player games for them, to focus on that, because you have to sell your service, right? You have to sell your Xbox Live, and you have to sell your game. You have to sell your services. So I don't think we're gonna see. I don't remember the last time I played a really just a single player game from Microsoft. What's the last one?
I'd say Crackdown has a multiplayer element, like a co-op element to it, but I feel like they're trying to sell that to the single masses.
Yeah, but that's supposed to use the cloud online.
Yeah, that's supposed to use cloud, big online. I don't know. Does any Can anybody remember the last like single like hardcore single player game? Like no multiplayer, you know.
Tomb Raider is what comes to mind for me because they funded part of that development. But what was that? 2014. Recore. Oh God, Recore is such a dumpster fire.
But Recore is a smaller game. But Recore, I mean, I love Recore. You guys know I love Recore on this channel. I played the heck out of it. I have multiple Let's Plays of Recore on there. I think it's good. I like it. I know all the people don't like it.
But there's also Ori and the Blind Forest, which they're doing a sequel to.
That's
good one. Yeah.
Those all seem like smaller ones. What about like any like bigger? You know.
What about Cuphead?
Yeah.
I mean, they had Dead Rising, but that's all getting ported over now.
I don't know. I mean, they definitely want to focus on. They're trying to sell their operating system at this point rather than their game console.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the multiplayer route's just easy for that kind of service thing. It's going to take a company with a pretty brilliant idea on how to generate a single player game that still requires that exterior service to work. Yeah. So we'll have to see how that works.
Again, Brian Gillick says Metroid the Other M is the best Metroid game, and Skyward Sword is the best Zelda game. 10 out of 10 IGN. I think he was just messing with that. Goku for Smash. Bring back Pichu for Smash. F-Zero is dead. He just wanted to hit everybody in the heart.
He's just trying to be as savage as possible.
Yeah, that's a crash and burn comment right there.
Yeah, you know, like that will get thrown off of certain places.
Do you know Walmart was selling Metroid the Other M the other day for 97 cents a piece?
Oh wow! I should have bought 10 copies.
Brand new.
I'll put it under the.
You would have to pay me to play that again.
Young. I don't know how to pronounce the rest of the Z Pooch says. Hey guys, do you think Shin Megami Tensei will release in 2018?
No, it's 2019.
I think it's 2019 too, right?
It's 2019. Yeah, I think it's 2019.
They said it's pretty far off, pretty much, right? That they're still working.
Yeah, they were talking about just recently. They said like they're just kind of ramping things up. I mean, maybe if they get things like really going, because they do reuse assets, or they do reuse monsters and bosses and stuff like that, and they're demons and stuff. So yeah, maybe, but I mean, it'd be a tight fit, man.
I don't know if they really need it though for 2018. To be honest, they could hold off for an early 2019 or mid 2019 release if they wanted to.
We got Fire Emblem. Yeah, we got Fire Emblem. We got Octopath. We got Ys. There's a lot of great RPGs.
I'm ready for Octopath. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Evan, you want to hit us with the 2 Streamlab questions that you said we had?
Oh, it's not really questions as much as shout outs. Abaddon dropped $5 on us, said you'll hit it before next week. So congrats on 100K. I guess that's just for us.
Yeah. I think that might be next week. Yeah.
And then Mama Mercy dropped $20 on Streamlabs and said, love from OJ's Ninja Village. Keep rocking it. Dave, hope your family's doing well.
OJ. Were you looking at cameras now, OJ, too?
Yeah.
Good for you.
The village, the Ninja War Funds, man, came pouring in. So yeah, thank Mama Mercy was a big part of that. So thank you, Mama Mercy. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate you, coming out here and with watching the SpawnCast and everything. But yeah, looking at cameras now. So John, I got to talk to you. I got to talk to you after probably next week, Monday.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Sean was probably looking at cameras too this week. So
yeah,
that's good. Very cool. Is that everything, Evan?
Yep, that's everything so far.
We finished like right on time. Look at that. Good for us. Okay, yeah. Let's go around outros here, and then we'll sign off, guys. Let me start with Liam. Liam, thank you for joining us tonight. It was very kind of you. But where can they find you, man?
I'm on Twitter at Dr_Cupcakes. That's the full word Doctor. And on YouTube, youtube.com/Liam R Productions. Or you can just Google me, Liam Robertson. You probably find me, and yeah, that's me. So check out my videos, I guess. That's the main thing. And I also do a podcast on Patreon if anyone's interested in that, just with my buddy, and we talk about rumors and stuff.
Ooh,
so yeah.
Okay, cool. Get some good information on there. We do need a person to stream Rax if you know anybody out there that's streaming or anything right now.
I'll double check and see.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyone want to check for somebody we can send people over to help them out? That's cool. And then Max, where can they find you?
YouTube.com/DreamcastGuy. I'm also getting close to 100,000 subscribers, a little bit further off than SpawnWave. If you're not subscribed to me already, definitely now's the time. I have a 2-hour-long, very special April Fool's video showing up in the morning. So,
hang man, that's all 2 hours. I saw that on Twitter. I was like, maybe he means render time. You mean 2 hours straight up?
It's 2 hours long. Yes, this is many months of preparation. So
We're publishing a movie tomorrow, dude.
basically, yes. I literally collapsed with exhaustion at the end of it. So definitely tune in.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. And then OJ, where can they find you, man?
Right here on YouTube, you can just find me. Just type in PlayerEssence. You should be able to find it there. Do a lot of Japanese RPGs, gaming news. I was starting to work in some reviews, and we do like live streams are probably big too, where we have complete fan interaction as well. So yeah, check out the channel. I'll drop a link in the chat, and I do appreciate being on the show again. I appreciate
absolutely,
that, and congrats on 100K as well. Hype for you, man.
Thanks. That'll be hopefully, like I said, hopefully next week that'll happen. With how things have been going, I got that sweet no shout out. So it's all uphill. It's all working here. And Rax, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at RaxTheGreat #1. You can also check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/RaxTheGreat, all one word, and Instagram, all that stuff. It's all pretty much the same thing. RaxTheGreat. If you search it up, you'll pretty much find me. I'll drop a link in the chat here for my channel if anybody wants to come help me out. I'm only 98.5 thousand away from 100,000. So I mean, if you guys want to help me out, that'd be awesome.
Liam, you're coming up on that. You're coming up on that 15,000 follower count there, man. You're right. Good stuff. Yeah, you guys gotta make sure you follow Liam over on Dr. Cupcakes to help him get to that 15K mark.
I think I'm there.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right
thank you for that.
And then Evan's usually here. So
Yeah, I'm doing SpawnWave stuff, but you can also follow me on Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram for just playing games or any of the artwork stuff I've been working on too at the same time.
Yep. Did we have anybody any smaller streamers we can raid that anybody found?
I tried to find. I think everybody's kind of like on my channel at least. There's nobody.
I got one. Is it like he's got around 30,000? I do some collaborations with him.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, drop them in.
Drop a link.
Yeah. Did it? Are you an admin here? I can't remember. I can make you
an
a moderator. Are you a moderator?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
I can drop a link. I have to say the name of him or just put it in there.
You can say the name, drop it in. It's fine.
Yeah, Nintendo Prime. So
yeah,
you guys can check out his channel.
Go bug Nintendo Prime. Tell him SpawnCast sent you guys. Spawn raid. All that good. You guys know. You guys know what to do. Go there, hit the like button, say hi. Make sure you follow everybody who was on here tonight. Once again, thanks to Liam Robertson, thanks to RaxTheGreat, thanks to Max, of course, as usual, DreamcastGuy, and OJ for PlayerEssence. And that'll do it for tonight, guys, episode 52. We will see you next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, as usual, with more SpawnCast. We'll see you then.